This video is packed with tons of Dollar Tree spring crafts inspiration. Let's get to it. Start with this, a foam ball. You can find these at Dollar Tree in different sizes. This is one of the larger ones. We're just going to also use one of these balloon sticks. These are the kind where you can put a balloon and then stick them on the ground or in a vase. I'm going to cut some of it. I'm just going to leave about a 10-inch piece, and then we're just going to put it right inside the foam ball. We're going to secure it with some hot glue, let it harden for a little bit, and then we're going to cover it with some moss. We're going to create a topiary. And I think you're going to love, love, love the way this one turned out. Be very careful. The foam does melt quite rapidly with the hot glue and it gets hot. Let me tell you. So anyways, just cover it up really carefully. Use a silicone finger protector like I have if you want. All right, so once everything is covered, it's looking like a little cute little guy, huh? With hair on top. All right, so we're just going to make sure that everything's nice and compact. And then we're going to add florals. Of course, we want this to be a topiary. Remove any excess moss. And then I like to push the leaves on my flowers all the way to the top. That way it's going to get the most of it and it just fill in that topiary. So we're going to cut off all of the flowers, leaving about an inch from the top. And we're going to add hot glue and then just start placing them. Now I start placing them here and there, kind of like evenly separated, just to create a pattern. But don't worry about that. Just put them wherever you want. I wanted to add more colors, so I did add this pink ones, also from Dollar Tree, and they are gorgeous. They complement the yellowish greenish ones beautifully. I'm just going to fill in some of those bare spots wherever I see them, and you can add whatever else you want. This little glass jar is actually from Target Dollar Spot. I got years ago. I still had it laying around, so I'm going to use it for this. I'm going to cut off a foam that's going to fit right inside, but not fall through. So it's going to be really snug. Once I had a size that will fit, I'm also going to add a little bit hot glue in the rim and then just push it in. I'm going to push it with my fingers, and then I did have to kind of like pound it a little bit with my wire cutter just to get it in there. All right, so now we are going to place the entire piece right inside very carefully so it doesn't push it through. But then once inside, I am going to secure it with hot glue. To cover up the foam, I am going to add some of these leftover leaves and other picks that I had, and that way it's going to be nice and flush. All right, so these stickers are gorgeous. They're 3D butterfly design, and let me tell you, they're beautiful. I'm going to add this one that complements the entire design beautifully right in there with some hot glue, and look how gorgeous this looks. Definitely one of my favorites, which is probably why I put it first. Love the colors, but what do you think? Let me know it down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take one of these hanging shelves from Dollar Tree. Now, these are the large ones. I am going to use 2 of the smaller ones. They come together in a pack. Remove everything from it, including the rope and the rings. They are a little bare and a little rough to the touch, so we are going to sand them down just a little bit to remove the splinters. Once we have that, then we have to wipe them really, really well. I do want to stain them, and you can use any stain. You can also paint it if you want. This is just a style that I decided. So I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint antique wax and I'm going to stain it, and I spilled it, my friends. Ugh. So of course we're not going to let it go to waste. So you know what I did? I just grabbed it straight from the cutting mat. And we're going to reuse it. Why not? All right, so I'm just going to stain it, and it just takes a few minutes to dry. I put it under a fan and it works marvelously. Again, use whatever color stain or whatever paint you want. Once they were dry, we're going to sand them very softly once again to smooth them out. And once again, wipe them so that every dust is removed from it. Now I want to create kind of like a barrel shape. I don't know if I think I did, but let me know what you think. So I'm just going to use this paint marker that I got on Amazon, and I do have it on my Amazon store if you want to check it out. It is linked down below. And I'm just going to make some stripes going down. They're about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick. And then we are going to make some horizontal lines, 2 of them, 2 on the top and 2 at the bottom, with a metallic silver marker. This is going to give it that barrel look. I love the way this turned out. I would love to know what you think of it though. All right, once everything was set and dry, we're going to hot glue one of these foam rounds right inside, kind of like creating a sandwich. We're just going to hot glue it from the top and the bottom, making sure that both wood pieces are nice and even. Once it hardens, we're going to take jute string. We're just going to thread it through the holes. Since they're already there, might as well use them. So I'm just going to make a couple of ties on each one. Once I had all four of them nicely tied, just cut off the excess, and now we have a cute little barrel style. How cute is this? All right, we're going to add florals, of course. We're going to take some of these from Dollar Tree, push the leaves upward, and cut off, leaving about between 3 and 4 inches. It doesn't matter. It's going to go right into the foam. I'm going to add hot glue to make sure they're going to stay in place. And we're going to add these pink ones, some blue ones, yellows. We're going to add all kinds of stuff. Now, this is a great project to do, to use all of those like leftover flowers you have from other projects. This is the kind to use. All right, so now we are going to bring in the sticker that we're going to use for this one. These have a beautiful vintage style. I'm going to take this horizontal thin one, and I'm going to place it right there in the upper right hand corner, and I think it turned out gorgeous. You can use any florals you want. If you don't hot glue the florals, you can change them from season to season. Let me know what you think of this one. This next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I want to take this beautiful sticker set. It's perfect for Mother's Day if you want to create a custom gift. Now, I love that they're clear because they are perfect for what I want to bake. These dry flowers I got from a maker studio, but Amazon does carry these. They have beautiful purple tones, and I do have them in my Amazon store, like I said earlier. So if you want to check that out, it is linked in the description box. All right, so we are going to cut one of these laminating sheets. I also get this on Amazon because we don't want to waste it. We only need a little bit of it. I'm going to take this circular sticker and place it kind of where I think I want it. And then we're going to start placing some of the dried flowers. Just create whatever pattern and design that you want, but have fun. I love using these dried flowers. All right, so at this point, I'm not sure if it's going to work because we, of course, have to laminate this in the heat. And I don't know how the sticker is going to react, so let's see. All right, so once I have the design where I want it, we're just going to cover it up. And we're going to bring in the laminator. This is also from Amazon, and it's so easy. It's a Scotch brand, and you just want to place it. Now, it goes really slow, so I'm going to speed it up for you. But I want to show you the process because at this moment, I am praying, my friend. I don't know how that sticker, if it's going to melt or not, but it didn't. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. All right, so I like to put it through twice. I don't know why. I was taught this way. I put it through, and then I'm going to cut off the excess because we are making a bookmark. I love creating bookmarks, especially as gifts. And this one for Mother's Day is gorgeous. Look how beautiful this looks. This is the perfect sticker to use to create this clear bookmark. So we're going to cut off the X's and we're going to angle cut those top edges, poke a hole at the top, just like a bookmark, I guess. And then we're going to thread a beautiful lacy style burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. And we're just going to simply knot it. We don't need to make anything fancy. I think this is gorgeous. The fact that it's clear is so unique, so custom, great as a gift. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take this little wooden, it's kind of like a crafting wooden picture frame. We're going to remove everything from it, including the middle portion, but don't worry, we're going to reuse it once again. All right, the first thing I want to do is I want to paint the back of it because it's a little bare and I want it to look finished. So I'm just going to use this very neutral paint. This is Sandstone by Waverly. I'm going to do one coat and then leave it to the side so it dries. Again, I just want it to look finished. Then we're going to take the little design that it came with and we're going to take this piece of paper from Dollar Tree and we're going to trace it because we wanted to have a different color and design inside of it. Now, you can use it as a picture frame. I decided to use it more decorative. I'm going to bring these paper. Again, this is from a paper pack from Dollar Tree, and they have different colors, different textures. I'm going to start ripping this one. When you rip it, it creates this like white border, and it looks gorgeous. So I'm just going to rip it in different sizes, and I am going to Mod Podge it all around the frame. Now, it doesn't matter how you stack it, how you do it, as long as the frame is covered. Now, I do want to overlap the edges because we are going to trim it afterwards. Once the entire frame was covered, I am going to give it one more coat of Mod Podge all over the surface and put it to the side and let it dry. This is what it looks like. Now we are going to use my X-Acto knife. You can use a blade knife as well. Very carefully, take your time. Just cut around the edge on the outside as well as the inside to create a smooth edge. And once it's cut, this is what it looks like. How beautiful. And you can use any paper design you want. All right, so now we are going to replace that middle portion that we cut out earlier and just place it right there. And this is where we're going to bring in the sticker. Now, I decided to use a black and white sticker. It has a beautiful, kind of like a written style design, but you can use any sticker you want. And again, you can just put a picture. That's fine. I'm going to put this one right there in the center. I thought it would be very fun. I think the yellow really complements the design. And then, of course, we want to put that little dowel that came with the frame so that we can stand the frame. And we're just going to add a little bit of hot glue and place it right there where it belongs. And that's it, my friends. Look how gorgeous this looks. I think it's absolutely stunning. It could be used as a gift or just for yourself as decorative purposes. I would love to know what you think of this one. We're going to start with this wooden flower. You can find these wooden pieces at Dollar Tree pretty much year round. I'm going to remove the sticker because we're going to use the back. I sanded it and wiped it really well, and I'm just going to give it one coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white, but you can use any color you want. I'm going to use one of these wood rounds from Dollar Tree. I use them all the time for crafting, and you can find them year round. I'm going to remove the jute string from it. And then we are going to take this beautiful hat. I cut this, I think it was last year during spring season. I'm going to remove the ribbon and the tag. And we're going to stuff that center portion with some craft paper. It's a little hollow. We want to harden it up just a little bit. So I'm going to scrunch up the paper, push it inside, making sure that the back is nice and flat. Flip it over and then just shape it nicely into that round shape. We are going to attach it to the wood round, so we're going to add hot glue all around the perimeter, and this is where it's going to touch that hat. Don't worry about it being completely center. It doesn't matter as long as it's behind it. Tap it. Be careful with the glue seeping through the little holes. The texture and the material of the hat really adheres to the hot glue perfectly. All right, Dollar Tree has these beautiful scarves every spring season, and recently I made a video using these. But I'm going to show you with this one. I'm going to just wrap it around the hat, okay? Very simple. I'm going to make a very simple knot. Now, if you want to make a bow, go for it. I decided to just keep it simple and make a knot. So I'm just going to tie it and knot it. No need to hot glue it. The wood piece is dry, so I'm just going to quickly sand it smooth and wipe it really well because we're going to attach the clay. We're going to add a layer of Mod Podge on the top surface. And then we're going to use this beautiful sun design cling. It's so cute. And we're going to place it right in the center. Then we're going to add one more layer of Mod Podge right over it just to seal everything and just make sure there's as little amount as possible of those little bubbles. We're going to put that to the side to dry. Now we're going to add some florals to the hat. I'm going to hot glue it to the left side of the hat. Just some greenery picks from Dollar Tree. These boxwooks are actually from Amazon. And I'm just going to start adding them one by one. This is going to make it look like it has a lot of greenery, like we used a lot, but really we didn't use much. So after I hot glued them in place, it's time to attach the wooden piece. Here's where things got interesting. I was like, how am I going to add this? So I decided to add a pipe cleaner to the back. We're going to staple it in place. If you don't have a stapler, go ahead and tape and hot glue as needed. Then we're going to drill a couple of holes on the where I want to place it. Just carefully drill a hole and you're going to see them on the back side. We're going to thread the pipe cleaner through each hole and then we're going to pull them from the back and tie it just in a little twisty. Just make sure that the sun is where you want it. Now to cover the back ties, we're just going to add hot glue and tape. This is going to prevent any walls from getting scratched. Then we are going to flip it back to the front and we're going to add pop of color. These florals are from Dollar Tree. I just thought it needed a little bit of pop of color. So we're going to add a couple of them towards the bottom and then one towards the top. Now to be able to hang this, I am going to add another piece of pipe cleaner. We're going to hot glue and tape as needed. Now if you can see, we're going to do it towards the side where the florals are. That's the heavier side. If I add it in the middle, it's going to tilt on me. So you make sure you hot glue it towards the side where the arrangement is. And look how gorgeous this is. I love the style, love how fresh and springy it looks. Let me know what you think down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to go to the glass aisle at Dollar Tree. We can find these mason jars. They come in a small and large size. I brought home a large one, and we're going to remove the lid because we're not going to need that right now. We're going to wipe it well. Often these are sitting in the shelves for a while, and they collect dust, so make sure you wipe it so that the clings can attach it very nicely. This Happy Easter little banner cling is so adorable. I thought it was perfect for this craft. I'm going to try to center it as best as I can right there in the center. Now, because these are meant to go on windows, you don't need Mod Podge. They attach perfectly to glass. I'm going to add these foam Easter eggs right inside of the jar. Now, you can use whatever you want, or you don't have to fill it in. It's up to you. Dollar Tree has beautiful designs of ribbon currently out for spring and Easter. This bunny one is so adorable. I'm going to cut off a piece, wrap it around the thread on top of the jar, and we're just going to make, again, just a simple knot. If you want to make a bow on this one, go ahead. I just wanted to keep it simple. I'm going to cut off the excess ribbon, and I'm going to add these greenery from Dollar Tree. Just spread it open, and then we are going to add these purple flowers also from Dollar Tree. We're going to have 3 of them. There's something about threes when you are making arrangements. And then we are going to add a tiny little purple flower right there in the center of the knot, just to cover the knots and just bring everything together. Look how gorgeous this is. It took absolutely no time. It's so gorgeous, so beautiful. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this wooden house that you can find at Dollar Tree. You can find these wooden pieces year-round, and I'm just going to remove the sticker because we're going to keep this one on the one side nicely done, and we're going to work on the back side. I added adhesive spray to the back, and then we're going to cover it with this beautiful craft paper. It's from a book I got at Michael's a long time ago. Once attached, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to remove the excess paper from the edges, and then we are going to sand down. I'm going to use a nail filer, but you can use a sanding block. This is going to remove that little tiny piece of paper that just can't get close enough when you are cutting with your X-Acto knife. And it's going to smooth out the edges and make it very flush, and it's not going to fray on you. Once it was completely attached, we're going to take this Happy Easter cling. I'm going to be very honest with you. I was not a huge fan of the blue with the green. I think I should have picked a better craft paper, but nonetheless, we are going to work with it. I added a layer of Mod Podge to the back, and we're going to place it, removing any bubbles as possible. See, I'm not a huge fan of that shadow around it, but it worked well. Now, Dollar Tree has these little carrots every year for Easter. Love working with them, but I'm not a fan of the little, stick in the top. The green part. So I'm going to pull them apart, but be careful because look what happened to me. So just hold it really tight and pull it. We're going to make it a little nicer. We're going to add these 3 pieces of faux boxwood. We're going to add a little bit of hot glue and just attach them to the top of each. We're going to keep this craft on the simple side. We're going to add the carrot to the top. The first one we're going to add right in the middle, nicely straight. Then the other 2 we're going to add to the sides at an angle shape. That way it's just going to add a little bit of character. But look how stunning this looks. Now, I know I'm not a fan of the blue with the green, but I think it works a little bit, But let me know what you think. I'd love to know your opinion down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this glass jar. You can use any jar you want. I really like the neck of this jar for some reason. I don't know where I got this. I want to say it was a long time ago at Target Dollar Spot. I'm going to wipe it with an alcohol wipe. This one was really grimy, and I'm going to dry it really well. We're going to add several of these clings right towards the bottom of the jar. This is a beautiful picket fence cling, and then we're going to add a couple extra little flowers to the side of it, just to kind of extend the design to the sides. How cute and how easy it is. Just peel and stick them. Now, I want this to be a flower arrangement, but with a little bit of a twist. Oh, I also added a bee. So cute. All right. So Dollar Tree has these little eggs. They're so unique. I thought I'm going to make an egg arrangement. So I'm going to take 3 of these. At first, I thought I needed 6 of them, but it was way too big. I'm going to take 3 bamboo skewer sticks, and we are going to hot glue them inside of each egg. We're going to add a dab of little hot glue right on the top, thread it from the bottom all the way till it touches the top. Just wait a couple seconds while it hardens, then add hot glue to the bottom so it really secures it in place. And I did the same thing with the other 2 eggs. So easy and so fun. All right, so now we are going to add Spanish moss inside this jar. This was a task. So I grab a pencil. The eraser of the pencil really helped to like really push it in. So just take your time. You don't even have to do this. You can use sand or sugar, anything white, anything you want, or not add anything at all. But I thought it looked really cute. All right, so now we're going to place the eggs. I'm going to add one higher than the other, and I'm going to cut as needed so that it has that nice arrangement look. I decided to add some faux boxwood. This is just going to hide the skewer stick, and it's just going to add fullness and greenery and freshness to the entire arrangement. And I think it turned out so adorable. I love that it's an egg arrangement, but I love that the eggs are so different, so textured, so unique. Let me know what you think of this one. We're going to start with one of their smaller ones. We're going to remove the little tag from the bottom. We're going to remove the cap because we're not going to need it, and then we're going to wipe it really well. Sometimes they get really dusty sitting on the shelves. We're going to paint this one white, and I am using Waverly chalk paint in the white. I'm going to give it 2 coats and let it dry. I'm going to grab one of these Dollar Tree tags. They are meant to be able to write with a chalk. I'm going to grab one of them, and I'm going to make a smaller version of it. It was just a little too big for the mason jar we're using. So I'm just going to keep the same tag look, just cut it. And then we're going to take this marker. This is a paint marker. It has a thin and a thick point. I'm going to use the thin one, and then we are going to just create a stitch-like design all around the edge. And then we're going to head on to the sticker aisle. Dollar Tree has an entire aisle dedicated to stickers, and I love all the selection. I am going to take these beautiful farmhouse style ones. We are going to remove the one that has this beautiful hope design, and it fits right inside in the middle of the tag perfectly. It already has a little sticky in the back, but you can use hot glue if you want to. I'm going to remove the little string that is already on there. Now we're going to replace it with some jute string. At first I thought I would just thread it through, but then I changed my mind because we're going to create a little bow, just simple bow, using the same string. We're going to cut off the excess and we're going to hot glue it to the front. So instead of threading the jute string through the little hole, we're just going to hot glue it to the back, and that way everything looks nice and even. I'm going to leave that to the side for just a quick second. I'm going to bring in the dried mason jar. We're just going to dry brush a few stripes here and there just to create a distressed look. This is using the Waverly chalk paint in the elephant tone. It's just like a dark gray. Look how cute that looks. Just very natural. I'm going to take more of that jute string. We're just going to wrap it around the top of the lid portion, and we're just going to do it several times and then secure it in place with hot glue. Once that's in place, then we're going to place the tag around that same section, tie it in the back with a knot, removing excess, and then adding a little bit of hot glue to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. We're going to keep this one simple. We're just going to add a beautiful yellow peony right inside, and I love the way this one turned out. Such a farmhouse style. I love that style. Just so fresh. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take another small mason jar, and then we're going to remove the lid and the sticky portion from the bottom. This one was not coming off as smooth, so I did have to use my heating tool, and it comes off really easy when you do that. Once that was off, we're just going to wipe it really well to remove any smudges and dust. This one, we're going to use some Artisa yellow paint because I didn't have any other paint. And let me tell you, using acrylic paint versus chalk paint just makes me realize why I love chalk paint. The coverage is so much better. But nonetheless, this is what I had on hand. So we're going to do 3 coats. This is the first coat, and I'm going to show you all 3 coats so you kind of see the difference it makes. We're going to create almost as if the paint is dripping off of the top. So we're just going to wiggle it around and just do whatever feels right. This is the second coat, and you can see it starts to look better, but it's still not good enough. So we will do a 3rd coat, and that really does the work. Now, you don't have to do this. You can do it in any color you want. I thought yellow will look really well because we're going to make this a bee theme jar. Here's that 3rd coat, and that really, really does good. It could have probably done a 4th coat, but I was done. I was done with that 3rd coat. So we're just going to finish this one and put that to the side. And this is what it's looking like. Look how cute. All right, so now Dollar Tree has these little animal insects, I guess. They're like little stickers. And I'm just going to grab 4 of the bees, remove the little paper from the back, and we're just going to stick them. We're going to stick them here and there in the front of the jar, but you can do it anywhere you want. I did end up adding a 5th one in the greenery that we're going to add in just a little bit. This last one was not sticking too well with the glass and not the paint, so we're just going to add a little dab of hot glue, and it did the work. We're going to add some greenery, keep it simple, and this is where I decided to add one more bee right there that is joining the team. But look how gorgeous this is. I absolutely love the way this one turned out, but I'd love to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take another small jar. I love these small ones. Remove the lid and the paper, wipe it well once again. And this one we are going to paint again, but we're going to do a different technique. We're going to use 2 paints. We're going to use this Waverly chalk paint in the moss tone and the white one. We're going to create an ombre look, so we're going to go from dark at the bottom and lighten it up until almost white at the top. Now, I'm not an expert at blending, okay? I've never, ever claimed that because I am not. And you're going to see at the end it's not perfect. But we got to try new things, and we have to just try it until we do our best. So anyways, we're going to just keep adding. And then as I move upwards towards the top of the jar, I'm just going to keep adding white paint until it lightens up. So there's the first coat. Not too bad, but it could be better for sure. So we're going to do a second coat doing the same exact thing, starting with the dark one and moving my way up with the lighter tones. Once it was fully dry, we're going to add these beautiful sticker butterflies. I love, love, love the way this one turned out. These butterflies have a golden tone. We're going to start with the larger one at the bottom, add a couple of the medium-sized ones, and then a small one at the top. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. All right, so this is what it's looking like. Now, I wanted to add something in the top portion. So we're just going to add this lacy ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it in place and just add 1 layer. That's it, just to add a little bit of texture and character there to the top. Once it's hot glued, I'm just going to cut off the excess, of course. And then again, for this one, we're going to keep it quite simple. I am going to add some pink flowers because the butterflies do have kind of like a pink tone in there. I'm just going to add these and then some greenery, again, keeping it simple, but highlighting the details from the entire design. And I got to tell you, this one is absolutely stunning. It's so simple, so feminine. Love the butterflies, and I love that we can use them, again, for another project. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with these little wooden pieces that you can find at Dollar Tree. I'm just going to grab a leaf and a flower and a little mushroom. You can add whatever you want to this project. I'm going to paint each one individually. This one, of course, is going to be green. Then we're going to add yellow and red tones just to have some fun and add color. We're going to put those to the side to let dry, and then we're going to bring in one of the larger jars from Dollar Tree. This one I already had on hand. I'm going to fill it up with some dirt. This is just potting soil that I had already here at home. And I'm just going to fill it up probably about maybe 2/3, if not maybe even half. Do whatever you want. It's up to you. Once it's in there, we are going to add some flowers into this tiny little pot that I found at Dollar Tree and some greenery. This is just going to add almost like a little potted plant. We're going to add that right there. I'm going to use my scissors to help me put everything in place. And then we're going to add the little wood pieces right around it. And that way it's just going to add, again, a pop of colors and just a cute little design. All right, so for this one, we're going to use a solar light from Dollar Tree. These are awesome. They have this tiny little butterfly, and I just love the way it just adds even one more layer of decor. We're going to put that in there, and you can see how it lights up. And then we're just going to hot glue it in place. That way it's going to go anywhere. So we're just going to add a little bit of hot glue, place it in there. The butterfly just has a new home. And look how stunning this looks. And the fact that it lights up at night is just an extra little perk. But what do you think of this one? Let me know down below. We're going to start with this small little wreath form you can find at Dollar Tree year round. They come 2 in a pack. We're going to use 1. We're also going to use this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree as well. We're going to wrap the entire thing with it. It's basically just hot glue in the beginning, wrap it around, and then hot glue at the end, cutting off any excess. We're going to start with one of these little plastic ones. They're so easy to work with. It's a perfect size for this tiny wreath. We're going to drill a couple of holes right on the top of one. It's actually going to end up being the bottom. We're also going to poke a couple of holes on the burlap, and then we're going to use a zip tie to attach the little pot. We want the little pot to look like it's pouring, like it fell and it's pouring out onto the wreath form. We're going to tie it from the back through the pot, through the back again, and then tie it in, secure it in, and cutting off any excess. I did add a little bit of hot glue to make sure that it's going to hold the position that I wanted to. So a little bit of hot glue went a long way. These little foam balls you can find at Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut off 1/3 of it. I'm going to use the size that is bigger, add hot glue to the flat size, and then we are going to add it to the inside of the pot. This is going to create a place where we can then add some florals. We're going to cover it up with some Spanish moss. This is from Amazon, but you can use the one from Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to start adding some florals. This is where you can add whatever you want. I wanted to keep it more in the neutral colors, but I think adding bright colors would really work beautifully. I'm going to start adding smaller picks inside the pot and then start adding longer ones with a rounded shape to keep that round shape from the wreath. And just going to keep adding until it looks nicely all the way to the left side of the wreath. Although you can leave it as is, I am going to add some of this bright green faux boxwood. This is a little swag I created for another project I kept in. I'm going to reuse it for this one. I'm going to add some smaller picks here and there. This is just going to add a pop of brightness and color to the entire arrangement. Add the larger one right in there. Nobody has to know. But look how super cute this looks. I love the color scheme, but again, bright colors would be gorgeous. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take 2 of these orange pods from Dollar Tree. They're plastic, lightweight, and $1.25 each. I removed the stickers and we are going to drill holes on the bottom of one of them. Drill as little or as many as you want. I wanted to really cover that whole circular portion right there, so I did holes all the way around. I'm going to start adding some of these greenery picks that I had on hand, and then we're just going to add 1 or 2 picks inside each hole, adding hot glue. That way it holds in place. The glue really melts a little bit of that plastic and it holds really well. Now I wanted to add enough to cover the entire thing, but not overwhelm it. But you can add whatever you want. So this is what it's looking like, and it's looking so adorable. If you haven't noticed, we are creating a carrot. That's what it'll look like inside, but no one will see that part. All right, so now we're going to add some stones inside of the bottom pot. This is just going to give it a little bit of weight so it doesn't tilt on me. I'm going to keep those there, and then we're just going to add hot glue on the rim of one of the pots quickly and swiftly because we don't want it to harden on us, but we also don't want to add too much where it's dripping. Then we're going to add the top one right there, hold it until it hardens. I'm going to add a little dab of glue on the bottom, or actually on the back, just to add some jute string. And I'm going to wrap it around in a spiral motion all around the carrots. So carrots have these little lines that you see when you purchase them on the skin. And I just thought I'm going to add one of these. It also serves well to cover up some of the glue that you can see on the seam. So I just did a spiral motion all the way from the top to the bottom, securing it on the bottom and the top with some hot glue. I'm going to add some of these yellow and orange flowers from Dollar Tree. This is just to add a pop of color. You don't have to. You can add more leaves if you want. I just think it knitted something. So I'm going to add the 3 of them to the front side of my carrot arrangement. This was easy, fast, and so fun. How adorable is this? It could be used during Easter, but you know what? It could also be used during springtime season anytime. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. DIY craft, I'm going to use another one of these terracotta pots. This is one of the medium-sized ones. We're just going to use one and we're going to paint it white. But again, you can use any color you want. I am going to put that to the side once it's painted, and then we're going to use my Cricut Joy again. Again, you don't have to use a Cricut Joy. You can use the carbon paper technique that I have used many times before. I am going to use a little bunny design just because Easter is around the corner, but you can use any design you want. I'm going to place a little bunny right in the front. We're going to create an Easter egg arrangement. Once it's there, it's time to add some foam. We're going to add one of those balls right inside. We're going to use the whole thing for this one. That way it's not going to tilt. I secured it with hot glue, and then we're going to bring in some of these dolls. You can also use skewer sticks if you'd like, and these Easter eggs that I got at Dollar Tree currently, but you can use any design Easter eggs that you want. I'm going to use the tip of my hot glue to just poke a hole at the bottom of each egg, and then we are going to place one stick right inside each hole, securing in place with hot glue. We are going to cut off any excess skewer sticks that we don't need, and then we are going to place them in an arrangement format. It's really easy, and there's no wrong way to doing this, and you can add as many as you want. Once you have it in place, it's going to look something like this. Look how cute! I like those speckles. All right, so now we're going to cover up some of that foam using Spanish moss. We're going to just put it in between the sticks. That way it's going to cover the foam. Now I want to add a pop of color and greenery, so I am going to add some of these full greenery grass. I don't want to overwhelm the arrangement, but I do want to add enough where it creates just texture and fullness. So I'm just going to add it all the way around. I'm not even going to hot glue it because at the end of the season, I can always reuse these for other projects. So you do whatever you want. You can add florals if you'd like as well. But I think it's so cute. It is so simple and so fresh. And how cute is that little tiny bunny? Let me know what you think of this one. We're going to start with this wire wreath form. It's in the shape of a cross, and we're going to wrap it using these nautical ropes from Dollar Tree. If you want to wrap them with the plant hangers, go for it. They were just a little too thin, and I think it would have been a little bit too many of them. So using this rope really worked. I'm just going to start wrapping it around. I started at the top, but you can start wherever you want. Hot glue as needed, but you do not need it in every turn. So keep that in mind. I just did it until I ran out of rope and everything was covered. I am now going to bring in one of the plant hangers, and this one has a more of a brown shade. I think it's gorgeous. It would be perfect for plants, but you know me, I got to find ways to use it in different ways. So we are going to untie all of the knots, like all of them, and there are many. Then I'm going to take 2 ropes at a time, and we're going to make more knots, but this time we're going to knot them about 7 to 8 inches apart from each other. And then once they were knotted, I'm just going to wrap it around the cross. I started on the back of the cross by hot gluing it, and then just went around and around, leaving around the same space between each round so that it matches. I did it from the bottom to top and then side to side. Now it's time to add some foam. These foam balls are from Dollar Tree, of course, and I'm just going to cut one in half and then poke 2 holes with my small screwdriver. Then we're going to bring in one of the zip ties from Dollar Tree, thread it from the flat side around the round portion, all the way to the back again. Then we're going to place it right there in the center, in the front of the cross, flip it over, and then zip tie it nice and tight. And of course, we want to cut off the excess. Now we're ready to add some florals. This sunflower is from last year's stash from Dollar Tree. It came in a little pot. I removed it from the pot. I'm going to keep the leaves on them, so I'm just going to push them right back in, add hot glue to the center, and then push the flower right there, right in the center. Then I'm going to add different greenery. These are just some that I had on hand from other picks left over. Just going to add them here and there just to add a pop of color, texture, and just make it bigger so it goes well with the wreath form. I got to say, I really love the way this turned out. I'm going to add these leaves right here, again, left over from other picks. And this is absolutely stunning. Oh my word, it's so large. Love the neutral tones. Love that we can use it for Easter, of course. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to take one of these little wooden boxes that you can find at Dollar Tree year-round. They come in different sizes as well as design. I brought this one home and we're not even going to paint it. I love that neutral color. If you want to paint it or stain it, go ahead. I'm going to take another one of those foam balls. I'm going to cut it in half and then we're going to hot glue them to the inside of the box. And then we're going to add several other little pieces of the foam. Just that way, we're just going to fill in those little bare spots. I'm going to take some Spanish moss. This one is from Amazon, but Dollar Tree does carry their own. And we're just going to stuff it right there in the center and then add this faux boxwood just to fill in that box. We're going to create a little flower box. I'm going to add additional flowers, some white ones and some yellow ones. This is just from, again, a stash that I had at home that I just had laying around left over from other picks. I have a box that I keep them in, and that way nothing goes to waste. Now I'm going to bring in something really fun. These balloon sticks you can find in the party aisle at Dollar Tree. And they come with 8 of these straw-like plastic straws. And then these little cones that you can place on the top. I'm going to cut off anything that I don't need. And I'm going to grab a white balloon also from Dollar Tree party aisle. And we're going to fill it up all the way to the size that I want. I'm going to tie it in a knot and then we're going to place it right there in the cone. You just want to thread it through and then just tie it around the little hook that is on the side of it. Just take your time. You can make the balloon whatever size you want. I am then just going to stick it right there in the center, creating a hole, and then add hot glue and stick it right back in. I'm going to give you a side view because that balloon was taking over. All right, so now we're going to bring in the rope. This is from the plant hanger. Again, I'm going to remove the knot, only just the one from the top. Remove the ring from it. Make sure everything lines up and is nice and straight. And then we're going to knot everything again at the top. This is because I wanted to extend that knot just a little bit more so I have enough to wrap around the balloon. We're creating a hot air balloon arrangement. I can't wait to show you. All right, so we're going to wrap it around. And yes, it's going to wobble on you. It's a balloon. Just be patient. Take your time. Hold it if you need it. Once I had it where I want it, I'm going to knot the ropes at the end. And I'm just going to hot glue one to each corner. And I did that on all 4 corners. We are just about done with this one, and I gotta say, this one's one of my favorite. Just keep holding it, arrange it, push it, tug it, but look how cute this looks. Oh my word, you can add whatever you want. It can be done as a gift as well. What do you think? Let me know. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to go to the floral section. Now, recently I was there and I found these beautiful orange balls. I don't know what they are, but they were in the floral section. So I grabbed several bunches and I'm going to just push those leaves all the way to the top near the orange balls. Now we are going to just stack them together. We're going to bring in one of those plant hanging ropes. We're going to loop one of the ends. This is what we're going to use to tie the arrangement. I'm going to thread the remaining rope right through the loop and just tighten it as needed. And you're going to see that I'm going to keep tightening, adding arrangement to it, keep tightening, and go all the way up. I want to create the shape of a carrot. Recently, I was on Pinterest and I saw an arrangement, kind of like a wreath that had a carrot shape. And I was like, you know what? I can make this with Dollar Tree items. So we're just going to keep arranging, stacking, and tightening as needed until we have the shape of a carrot. Now I'm going to bring in this greenery pick from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to fluff it up just a little bit. I'm going to cut off the excess stem that I don't need, and then we're going to push it on the opposite direction right on top. This is going to be the green portion of our carrot. We're going to use the same rope. We're just going to tie it around as needed and then cut off all the excess stems from all the other orange stems. And then we're just going to continue to tie it and make a knot at the back. And that way everything's going to be nice and secure. Cut off the excess. And I did add a little dab of hot glue to secure it in place. I'm going to add additional faux boxwood. This is from Amazon. I'm just going to add a few little picks here and there just to fill it in a little bit. I felt like a little bit bare. And I didn't have another one of these Dollar Tree picks, so I'm just going to use this, stick them in there as needed until I kind of like what I see. I wanted to add a pop of like a lighter green color. Now I have these leaves again left over from another pick. I'm just going to add one here to the left side of the arrangement. And then we're going to make a very simple bow using burlap ribbon and this carrot themed ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to stack the smaller one on top of the burlap one, tie it in the center with some jute string, cut off the excess ribbon using the dovetail design, and then we're going to hot glue it right on top of the large leaf. And again, you can skip this part if you don't like bows. I just thought it needed a little something. I'm going to loop one more piece of that plant hanging rope, tie it in a knot, and this is what we're going to use to hang it. And look how adorable this is. I'm so glad I did this. We did not spend a lot of money, and let me tell you, this is gorgeous. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take one of the white plant hangers and we're going to remove the tag, of course, and then we're going to cut open the top to remove the ring. We're going to remove all the knots, including the small ones. Again, it doesn't take long. They're not really tight. Then we're going to take 2 ropes at a time, wrap it around my fingers, and we are going to tie them in the center with some white yarn. We're going to create little pom-poms using the ropes. You've seen me do this before. Basically, open up all the loops. Then you want to shape it into a little ball the best that you can. I like mine a little messy, but just do whatever you want. Once you have it where you want it, we're going to bring in that ring once again, and we are going to tie it onto that. We're creating napkin rings. So we're just going to tie it in a simple knot, and then we're going to bring in some of these Dollar Tree napkins. They come in a set of 4. These are at Dollar Tree Plus aisle. I loved these designs. We're going to open one of them up, and then we are going to fold it into a triangle, and then fold it again into a smaller triangle. Then we're going to bring in the 2 flat sides and bring them in together just like that. We're going to put the napkin ring right through it, and we're going to create the shape of what will look like a little bunny and the little tail on top. Oh my gosh, how cute is this? But do they really look like bunnies? Let me know down in the comments. I love them. The first thing I want to do is I want to grab a book. This is an old book that I got at Dollar Tree specifically for this purpose, for whenever I wanted to craft with them. I'm going to grab 9 pages and just kind of cut off the excess white portion from the sides as well as the bottom. But I'm going to leave the top as is. I'm going to do a banner, and this banner is going to have 9 pages. So I want to create a banner-like shape at the bottom. So I just marked in the center, and then using my rotary cutter and ruler, I cut that. This beautiful towel has Easter eggs design on it, and it's so cute. I'm going to cut off several of their designs. I think is one of each to be exact. And I'm just going to use my scissors. These gorgeous scissors are from Amazon. They're new to me and I love them. I do have them on Amazon store if you want to check. We now have 5 different designs and look how cute these look. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to fold just about maybe an inch from the top. And I'm going to do all the pages at once. This is just 5 pages for the 5 eggs. And we're just going to take one at a time, fold them well. And then using hot glue, we're just going to hot glue 1 egg in the center of each page. And you're going to probably notice that several of the pages were actually cut backwards. Please don't judge me. Honest mistake. But anyways, it is what it is. I'm just going to hot glue 1 egg in each page. we have 5 of the banners neatly and beautifully designed. All right, so now we're going to take the leftover 4 pages, do the same thing, fold. And then I found this banner already made at Dollar Tree. It is so adorable. They have these cute little flowers, and I'm just going to grab 4 of them, and we are going to place them like we did the eggs, one in the center. I'm just going to pick one of each color, and they had pink, purple, yellow, and blue. Isn't this looking so adorable? I love these flowers. All right, so now we have 4 of these banners already. I'm going to take this burlap lacy ribbon from Dollar Tree, and we are just going to start separating and arranging each banner in a style that kind of complements each other, making sure that I'm alternating between an egg and a flower. And then that middle one that says Happy Easter is going to be in the middle. So I'm going to find the middle portion of my ribbon. I'm going to mark with a permanent marker, and that way I know exactly where to hot glue it. And we're going to do it right inside the little fold. Add hot glue as needed. Be careful, it does get hot. And then add more if you need to, of course, fold it. I'm going to leave about 1 inch between each banner, and I'm just going to keep placing them in the pattern that I chose for them. I started in the middle and then worked my way outwards on one side and then worked on the other side. And that's it. Now you can add whatever you want. You can add greenery in the center. I contemplated doing that, but I think just like this is absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorites from today. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take the leftover towel from earlier and we're going to cut it in half. Then we're going to cut that half into half. And then we are going to make sure that we cut off just a few little inches on one side so that we have a 10-inch long piece. We're going to mark in the center with my ruler, and then we're going to diagonally add glue. So from the outside upper corner all the way to the center portion of the piece, just like that. Make sure that it's fully attached and then cut off the excess. Get as close as possible to the glue without cutting the glue, of course. Now we are going to flip it inside out, and you're going to see that we have a cute little carrot shape. That's what we're making. And I did it again. I did the fabric backwards. Oh my gosh, please don't judge me. All right, so I did one of them, and now we are going to just thread some of this white jute string into a stitching needle, and then just thread it in and out in the top portion of the carrot. Make sure that you start and end with the string on the outside. Once it's completely in there, then we are going to fill the carrot with some pillow stuffing. Use a pencil. I used a pencil to get me in there right in the corner. The rubber band, or like the eraser, really helps with pushing it in. And then just keep adding until the entire thing is filled. Once you have stuffing in there, look how cute that's looking. Please ignore that it's backwards, okay? All right, we're going to pull the string and tighten it, but not too tight because we want to add greenery. We're going to add hot glue and just keep adding. This is from a pick from Walmart, but you can use the picks from Dollar Tree if you have that on hand. Just add as many or as little as you want. And then once you have them hot glued, flip it over to its back, or to its front, so that you can tie it in the back and then tighten it as much as you can. And then make sure that you cut off the excess. And then I did the same exact thing on a second one. I know I went over everything, so now we are going to speed it up just as a review. So we just cut off a piece, added glue diagonally, cut off the excess, flipped it inside out. Then we're going to thread the jute string in and out on the top. We're going to fill it with some pillow stuffing. We're going to tighten it slightly. We're going to add some greenery with hot glue, tie it in a knot, cut off the excess, and now you have 2 very cute upside down carrots. Perfect for Easter decoration. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to take this festive and very colorful kitchen towel from Dollar Tree. We are going to fold it in half. Now we're going to take some faux leather. Now this one is from Amazon that I already had on hand from other projects. But if you have the kind from Dollar Tree, use that as well. I'm going to cut off some straps that are 2 inches thick. And I honestly don't know how long they are. It's just the length that I had available. You cut yours in whatever length you want. We're going to create a cute and very festive tote bag. So I'm going to start sewing it with my sewing machine. And I want to give it like a crisscross shape on the outside. I am using white thread on purpose because I wanted to see that stitch. But you can use whatever color you want. And I am not a sewer. I'm not pretending to be one either. I just know the very, very basics, and that's what I'm doing. So it is not perfect, but I really love the way this turned out. So I'm going to use one strap first. Again, we're just going to do a square. Then we're going to stitch or sew a crisscross in the center. And taking in consideration that we're using a Dollar Tree towel and that I'm not the best sewer in the world, I think it turned out okay. Seems sturdy enough. Anyways, I did it on the other side of this strap, and then I did it again on the other side of the tote bag. So we did this 4 times. All right, so we're just about done attaching the straps. Now we're going to fold it in half, and we want to make sure because the back eggs are upside down, and I did notice this time. I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to cut off a rectangle from the leftover faux leather, and we're going to place it in the front of the tote bag, and we're just going to attach it by sewing. I'm going to leave maybe about 3/4 of an inch on each side, and we're just going to sew each side as well as the bottom, leaving the top open, of course, because it will be a pocket. Once that is attached, then all we have left to do is sew the sides, and that is pretty simple. I can even do that. And I did that on both sides. Now you can add a little strap to close it. I decided not to, but I think it turned out so cute, so festive. This would be great for any like Easter, spring kind of parties. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. This is such a fun Dollar Tree DIY craft. We're going to take this beautiful Happy Easter towel. We're going to cut it in half. Now, I love the colors, so I just thought it was perfect for this project. We're going to hot glue both sides to each other, creating like a little bag, because then we're going to close up and hot glue the bottom of it. We're just creating a little sack for treats or gift bag, whatever you want to use this for. Now we are going to just cut off a few inches from the top. I just felt like it was a little too tall, but you can do whatever you want. I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm just going to draw a line. This is so that it keeps me straight as I start making little slits with my X-Acto knife. I'm making sure that the slit goes through the top all the way through the other side because I want all the slits to match to each other. This is because we're going to thread in and out a beautiful ribbon. Dollar Tree has this beautiful Easter themed and spring themed ribbon on hand, and I just love, love, love them. I'm going to take this thin one, and we're just going to thread it in and out. We're going to start in the front, making sure that I start and finish with the ribbon on the outside. I'm just using this little tool just to help me thread it in and out, and I'm going to speed it up here for you. Very repetitive. Once we get to the front, it's a matter of just making sure you cut off any excess ribbon. Now, you can stuff this, like I said, with candy. I'm just going to add this napkin just to add fullness for now. But then we're just going to pull and tug and just make a very simple bow. Isn't this the cutest little bag? You can use this for treats. Again, you can use it for gift, whatever your heart's desire. Love the way this one turned out. These colors, and the bunny is right in the front. How cute. Would love to know your thoughts on this one. Of course, let me know down in the comments. We're going to start with a large one. I love these because they are kind of plain in the front, and this still has those numbers and measurements in the back. We're going to remove the lid and give it a quick wipe. Sometimes they're laying around in the shelves for a while, and they just collect dust. I'm going to use some Spanish moss. If you have some from Dollar Tree, go ahead and use that. I'm going to use this one from Amazon, and I'm just going to press the whole bundle inside of it. I'm going to squish it down with whatever I have on hand, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm filling it about maybe 1/3 of the jar up. Wipe off any dust from the moss, and then we are going to take these cute little foam eggs from Dollar Tree. You can find these during these season, and I'm going to use 3 of them. I'm going to use antiquing wax and a strong bristle brush, and I'm going to start speckling them. Now, at first, I thought I'd just speckle them laying on the towel. That didn't work very well. So I'm going to stick some skewer sticks and then place them in a foam ball that was cut in half. And that way, they're not rolling around on me. All right, so I'm going to speckle them, and I'm going to just add as much as I think it's needed. You do whatever you want to do. You can also add black paint if you do not have antiquing wax. We're going to put it to the side, let it dry, and then this beautiful ribbon has a vine style I got on Amazon about 2 years ago. Love, love, love it. We're going to wrap it around that bottom portion, kind of like in the center where the moss is, just a few times, and then we're going to hot glue it into the back. Now, this is just going to add a freshness and a nice, beautiful tone to it, but you can add any ribbon you want to it. But look how cute this looks. All right, now we're going to add some more greenery and florals to the front of the jar. We're going to add these faux greenery picks from Dollar Tree. We're just going to add a couple of them, one to each side in the front. And then these cute little white ones. I don't remember where I got these. I want to say it was Dollar Tree as well, but I really don't remember. And then we want to add a pop of color, but just very subtle. So I'm going to take this deep purple kind of flower from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to hot glue it right in the center. Nice and simple. The eggs are semi-dry. I'm just going to carefully push them in and press them onto the moss. I'm just going to drop it in, and then using my scissors carefully just kind of arrange them where I want them to be. They were actually kind of dry. All right, so now we are going to cover up the thread on the top of the jar. We're just going to take some burlap ribbon, fold it in half, and I want to make sure that the frayed portion ends up being at the top of the jar. I'm just going to wrap it around, and we're going to hot glue it to the back, securing it in place. And that's it, my friends. Look how fun this craft is. I love the muted tones, the pop of color. Let me know what you think down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree mason jar DIY craft, we are going to take a smaller one of those mason jars, and we're going to remove the lid once again. We do not need it. Put it to the side. We are going to remove the sticker part for this one, and we are just going to give it a quick wipe. Again, they're just a little dusty. Now, Amazon carries these flattened dry flowers that you can find. Now, I had these on hand that a maker studio sent me, but I wanted to give you the option, and I have the ones from Amazon in my Amazon store. If you want to check it out, it is linked down below. Let me give you this disclaimer. I have never worked with dry flowers, so please be gentle on me. We are trying new things, and I love learning new skills. We're going to use Mod Podge and a brush, and we're just going to start applying Mod Podge section by section, adding each flower one by one with the tweezers, and then add in more Mod Podge on top to flatten it out. I don't know if this is going to work. I saw something being done like this on Pinterest, and I thought, I have these on hand. Let me give it a try. I'm going to do this same technique all around the jar, just adding here and there what kind of design I think looks good. But you do whatever you want to do. So we're just about done adding the flowers. By the time I was done on the other side, the first side was already almost dry. You can see right there. All right, so normally when I have paint or Mod Podge, I place it on the floor in front of this fan, and I just let it dry, and it dries in minutes. So use that technique. All right, so here it is all dried, and it worked so good. It's very textured, so if you pick at it, it will come off. But why pick at it? It's beautiful, but I love the way it turned out. All right, so we're going to take this burlap lacy ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use the entire portion of this wavy one. So beautiful. We're going to wrap it around that threaded portion. Again, I don't like seeing that threaded portion bare, so we're going to cover it up, but you can use whatever ribbon you want. A white one would have been beautiful too, or even pink or red. Secure it in the bag with some hot glue. Look how cute this is. All right, so at first I thought I would add a real candle because I figured it's jar, it's glass. But then I thought, what if it activates the Mod Podge, the heat? So I changed my mind. We're just going to use one of these battery operated ones. They're so easy to work with. You just remove the little plastic tag right from the bottom and then you click it on and that's it. And at first you think that's not going to generate any light. Let me tell you, it did beautiful. I'm just going to put it right in the center and let me show you. It turned out gorgeous. The next photo is in a darker place. You're going to see it. The glow is magnificent. Let me know what you think though. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take this smaller little jar. It's not really a mason jar, but I just thought how cute. It had this little hanging rope. You can find these at Dollar Tree. You can also remove the rope by just removing the little clip, but I wanted to keep it. I'm going to use my heat gun to remove the tag, and then we're going to use some of these moss balls that you can find at Dollar Tree, and we're just going to put all of them. I don't know how many I use, but depending on what jar you use, you can use as many as you need. We're going to fill it up all the way to the top. Now we're going to add some bright flowers from Dollar Tree. These are gorgeous. The color, it has like this coral pink. I'm going to add 3 of them, but again, add whatever you want to your jar. Now at Dollar Tree, I found this little aisle section here with Easter eggs and bunny banners. Oh my word, these are so cute. They come a ton in a bag for $3. I'm going to remove just one of them, the one from the front, and just removing the ribbon. Really easy. All right, so I want to remove the little bunny ear portion, so I'm going to actually remove about maybe 1/3 of the actual foam ball. And just be patient. It's not easy to cut. Just cut as needed. All right, now I'm going to shape it again into a nice ball, and we're going to add tons of hot glue to the bottom. And we're going to place it right there in the front of the jar. This is going to make it look like a little bunny is digging inside the jar. You're going to see what I'm talking about. I had this little pom-pom ball left over from another project. I'm just going to hot glue it right on top like it's the little tail. How cute! All right, so now we're going to take some craft paper. This is on the thicker side. If you don't have any thicker craft paper, just use poster board. It's fine. I'm going to freehand what will look like a little paw, and I'm just going, or like the little feet. Are they paws or feet? Maybe feet. All right, so I'm just going to cut it in the shape that I think a little feet will look like, and then cut as much as I need until it fits the size that I'm looking for. And then I made it 2 of them. I'm going to paint pink the little portion of the bottom of the feet. How cute. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just using paint marker, and I do have these on my Amazon store as well. Once I have them completely, we're going to attach them facing down, okay? So we're just going to add a little bit of hot glue towards the top and then just place them right there. Hot glue to the little bottom of the bunny. And we'll do the same thing to the other one just because that way it looks like, oh my gosh, how cute. He's digging inside the jar, maybe for little carrots. Do they eat carrots in real life? I think so. Look how cute this looks. This will be a great craft to do with kiddos. I love the color scheme. I love the little moss balls. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with these beautiful napkins that you can find at springtime. I love, love, love these. I'm going to take these one that says Happy Spring, and we're just going to use one of them. To my surprise, each one has 4 designs. Tell me this is not an awesome prize. Love these for Mod Podge. Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, the ply was very thin, so I didn't need to remove any portion of it, but I feel like I should have, and you're going to see here in the end. I cut off the excess napkin paper from the edges, wipe the jar really well, and we're just going to add Mod Podge once again, a really large space in the front, and then we're going to take the napkin design and just place it carefully because it could tear. I'm just going to press and just kind of press down until all the bubbles are gone. And this is what I'm talking about. I think if I would have removed the extra ply, even though it was very thin, I think it would have made a big difference. I'm going to add another layer of Mod Podge over the napkin and then just add Mod Podge all over the jar so everything matches when it's nice and dry. We're going to put it in front of the fan, and you can see all the little white sections. I think that's what could have been avoided if I'd have just removed the ply. So just keep that in mind. This is some baker's twine in a white and beige, and I'm just going to wrap it around the front, once again covering up the thread, and then we're going to tie it in a very simple bow. You can leave it in a knot if you want. You can add something in the center. I kept it simple, but I'm going to add some greenery picks. This one is from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to set it inside, open it up as needed, and then add these beautiful roses right inside. I'm going to add 4 of them here and there just to fill it in. I think the color really complements the design of the napkin beautifully. Look how stunning this looks. Again, I don't like the little white parts of the napkin, but it is what it is. I love the way it turned out, but what do you think of it? Let me know down in the comments. We're going to start with this rainbow sign. It was left over from Valentine's, and we're going to start with this beautiful ribbon and cut strips of 5-inch. Just do as many as you think you need, but you can always cut more if you need more. We're going to fold it in half, glue it to itself, and then hot glue it to the rainbow. And we're going to keep the same shape going around the top and then move our way down with different types of ribbon. And this is what's beautiful. You can use any ribbon you want, even neutral color ribbons. I think some white and beige ones will look gorgeous. But we're going to make this an Easter theme one, or at least spring theme. And we're just going to start again applying them on the top, work our way down. I did overlap the ribbon just a little bit to each other so that you don't see any of the background color. You can always paint the design if you need to. If you don't have this sign, you can always cut it in the shape of a rainbow using cardboard or foam board. So here we're going to use this pink burlap ribbon. Do the same exact thing. Hot glue it to itself, hot glue it to the board, overlap to each other, and overlap to the one on the top. And we're going to do this all around onto the other side. All right, we're just about done with the pink, and then we're going to bring in this Easter one. Again, you don't have to do an Easter theme. You can do whatever color you want. We're going to cut it again into 5-inch strips and do the same exact thing. Now, the closer you get to the center or the bottom, the least amount of ribbon you need, so you don't need to cut as many. Again, we're going to overlap it to each other and overlap it to the one on top. Now, I'm contemplating adding one more ribbon to the way bottom, but I thought I can add something different to add texture and a pop of color. And we're just going to add some nautical rope. Now, the white nautical rope from Dollar Tree you can find year round, and we're just going to give it that rainbow shape. Here's the key. You want to start with as straight as possible first one, because if the first one is tilted, the rest will be tilted. And just keep doing that until the entire thing is covered. I'm going to add another piece of that rope to the back so that we can hang it, and it doesn't have to be super long. You don't even have to add this if you don't want. Now, you know I love some greenery, so I'm going to add little pieces of greenery picks here and there. I don't want to overwhelm it. I just want to add texture and color. So I'm going to add it in between the ribbon as well as the bottom portion of the rope, and then I'm going to add it on the top as well. Now, for an added touch of pop of color, I'm going to add some pink flowers, but you can skip this part if you'd like. I just thought the pink flowers would really complement the overall design of the rainbow. And let me tell you, I think it did. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This one is definitely one of my favorites, which is probably why I put it first. But I would love to know what you think of it. Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with an Easter egg shape wreath form. You can find these during the Easter season or the spring season. We're going to also use these 3 ribbons. Now, for Valentine's, I did a ribbon wreath in the shape of a heart, and you guys loved it. I thought, let me do the same and add a different touch of, decor. I'm going to cut strips of this first burlap style ribbon in a 4-inch long, and then we are going to dovetail cut the ends. I'm going to use my silicone silver protector because it works so good, and you can find these at Dollar Tree. All right, so we're going to wrap the burlap ribbon all around the first 2 wire, okay? Now, if you encounter yourself with one of those like middle sections, just make a little slit just like I did this one, and then hot glue it to itself. That's how easy it is. Now, you can make these longer. You can make these instead of 4 inches, 5-inch, 6-inch, whatever you want. I didn't want it to be too big, so I want to keep it on the smaller size. So I'm just going to keep wrapping these around all the way around the first 2 wires. For For the next ribbon, we're going to use this beautiful Easter themed one, and I'm going to cut it in 4.5 inches and do the same exact thing, fold it and dovetail cut those ends. Now, I did cut several of these. Again, you can always cut more if you need them. Now, I am also going to use this beautiful blue burlap style ribbon, and we're going to do this one first. We're going to wrap the other 2 wires with it. Literally just wrap it around, and I'm going to do that all the way around. Now we're going to take those pieces of ribbon. I did cut them in half. So remember, I cut them in 4.5 size, and then I cut them in half after I dovetail cut them. Now I'm going to flip the wreath to its front. Okay, so the back is facing up, and we're going to hot glue them. Now make sure that the ribbon, as you are hot gluing it, that they're facing down, because that way when you pull it on the other side and you flip the wreath, it's going to look nice and pretty. Again, we're going to overlap each ribbon just a tiny bit, and then we are going to hot glue it all around. Okay, so now we're going to flip the wreath to its back. So now we're going to have it facing forward, and we're going to take a small little, you can use a pencil, a pen, I'm just using a small screwdriver, and we're going to pull those ribbon. Now again, if you find yourself in a spot where you have that middle wire, just make a slit and pull it forward just like that. So I'm going to pull it all the way around. Now you can see the layering, you can see the ribbon that we first used, then that blue, and then this beautiful design right in the center. So pretty, so festive. Now, because this is a wreath form, you can add whatever you want. I'm going to add greenery, of course. I'm going to hot glue it in place. These are just ones that I had left over from a project a long time ago. I'm going to add more ribbon towards the top because it's taller, and then a little less on the bottom. But nonetheless, they're going to go on the right side of the wreath. And again, you can add whatever you want right there in the center. I'm just going to add a simple bow. I'm going to make one that is pink, and it's going to be on the smaller size. We're going to fluff it a little bit, tie it with jute string. Then we're going to use that same blue ribbon from earlier, make a larger one, and then tie the pink one on top. And then the leftover Easter themed ribbon, we're going to make 2 bows, like a double loop, and make it a little larger than the rest. And we are going to place it in the back. We're going to dovetail cut those ends because we want to match everything and bring everything together. And then we're going to hot glue it and tie it right there in the center of the greenery. Because this is a wreath form, you can do both, but you can always just hot glue it. That's okay. Tying it really makes sure it's nice and secure. We're going to add a couple of these extra leaves. I just thought it needed a pop of like a brighter green to bring together that ribbon from Easter. Dollar Tree has these little signs for Easter, and I love that it had these 2 little tiny bunnies. I'm going to cut one off, and I'm just going to hot glue it right there in the center. But you can add an Easter egg, whatever you want. You can add florals. The possibilities are endless. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take this Peeps theme ribbon. It's so cute. We're going to cut strips of about 5 inches long, and then this pink thinner ribbon from Dollar Tree, we're going to cut this one about 3.5 inches long. We're going to hot glue the pink one inside of the other one. You can see here we're going to hot glue it to itself, making loops. So loop the pink one and then loop the larger one right over it, okay? And then just hold it in place until it hardens. And then you have this little loops. We're going to create a spring-themed decorative flower. You're going to see how pretty this is. I made a total of about 7 loops, but you can add as many as you want. And I repeated the process for all of them. Then I'm going to bring in a piece of stem. This is just one of those wooden stems that you can find at Dollar Tree. It's on the thinner side. We're going to hot glue each loop right onto him. And I'm going to do one and then one across, one in the middle, and then one across, so on and so forth until the entire thing is covered. Again, just hold it until they're all hardened and nice and dry. Look how cute that's already looking. Okay, we're going to add more of that white nautical rope right around the stem. I had a little bit of like leftover in the outside on the top, so I'm just going to add that rope and then add this pop of green color right on top, this beautiful flower from Dollar Tree. I'm going to add some greenery picks onto the rope in between the flower and the ribbon. Just add a few picks just to fill that in. This pick was one left over from another pick. I'm going to hot glue the entire thing right onto it, and look how pretty this looks. You can make multiple of these and make an arrangement. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Let me know what you think of this one down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take this beautiful yellow ribbon from Dollar Tree, a button, and a hair tie. Now we're going to cut a strip that's going to be long enough to create a bookmark for one of my daughter's books. We're going to loop one end and just sew it back and forth to create a looped end, just like that. Now, I'm not a huge sewer. I cannot pretend that I am, but every so often I do pull out my sewing machine and, do my thing. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side, except we're going to thread the hair tie right in between and then do the same thing. Just sew it until it's nice and secure. Cut off any excess ribbon. So now you have a cute little, kind of like, I don't know, it looks like a keychain at first, but it's going to come together, I promise. We're going to place the button on the other end, and we're just going to, that's it, just sew it in and out until it's nice and secure. And look how good this looks. You're going to see what I'm talking about. My daughter loves to read, and so I grabbed one of her books. I'm going to remove the little sticky that she had where she's at. I'm going to place it, and then we're just going to stretch it and thread it over the button, and look how cute this looks. Wouldn't this make a great gift? You can make multiples. I love these. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We're going to start with this beautiful bunny wreath form. You can find it at the Dollar Tree Plus section. It has the chicken wire already on it. It is so large, and it was $5. I thought it was a great deal. Now, I love to work with chicken wire, but I love to paint it white. If you've never done it, it's a game changer, unless you like that galvanized look. I put very little bit of paint. I'm talking about very little, because I don't want it to drip. And I was just dabbing it and painting it around the wire. And that way it just lightens it up. Now, this wooden family sign is from the Dollar Tree fall collection. I had it left over. And at first I thought, let me paint it yellow because it was going to complement the scarf. But this paint from Dollar Tree is not good. So I moved on to my Waverly chalk paint in the white. I'm going to give it 2 coats, and I'm just going to paint the top of it, okay? I'm not worried about the sides or in between. Way too much work. I think it looks great just painting the front. So again, I'm just going to give it 2 coats, let that dry. Here's the scarf that we will be using. It's a beautiful style. It has the yellows and the blacks. Gorgeous. I'm going to wrap it around the bunny's neck. And we're going to just simply make a simple bow. That's it. Tie it in a simple bow. And here's what you want to decide what size of bow you want. You can make it large, small, medium, whatever you want. I'm just going to keep adjusting and fluffing as needed. And I'm not going to cut the leftover right away because I want to see how I'm going to design it. I know many of you have said to me, greenery and flowers do not belong on a bunny, but you know what? This is a wreath form, so we're going to add greenery. We're going to add as many as we feel like it's going to look beautiful. So I'm just going to add these greenery picks from Dollar Tree. We're just going to stick them kind of like behind the bow, and because it's a grapevine wreath, you can just stick them right in. Add a little bit of hot glue for a nice bond, and then again, just add whatever you want. I'm going to take the family wooden piece, and I'm just going to flip it upside down, and we're going to add some pipe cleaners. We're just going to hot glue as well as tape. This is what's going to hold it to the chicken wire on the bottom. So I'm going to do that on a couple of places. And again, hot glue and tape really works well. I'm going to place it where I kind of want it. I'm going to add hot glue where the wooden piece touches the wreath form. Hold it for a few minutes, then flip it over. Then I'm going to thread the pipe cleaners through the chicken wire and just twist it. Again, this is just going to add nice security and is not going to go anywhere. Cut off the excess as needed. All right, so now we're going to start cutting the scarf. Now that we have everything in place, I'm going to cut slowly until I kind of have what I need, and then just adjust as you need it, arrange it. This is gorgeous. This is totally my style. I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to display it in my front door. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this beautiful pink wire basket. This is supposed to be for organization on your desk or your home, but we're going to use it to create a beautiful wall piece. We're going to move the tag and we're going to take one of these foam balls from Dollar Tree and cut it in half. We're going to poke a couple of holes and then we're going to thread a zip tie from the bottom flat section across the other side, and then we're going to place it on the bottom right corner of the basket. Thread it through the wire and then just tighten it as needed. That's it. Then cut off the excess and now flip it over, and we're going to add some moss. This is Spanish moss. Dollar Tree carries them, but this one's from Amazon. I'm going to add hot glue to the foam and place the moss right on top. Add as much or as little as you want. Now we're going to take some more of that greenery and we're just going to start placing it. This is when you can have fun. Add whatever florals you want, whatever greenery you want. I'm just going to add these. I'm not even hot gluing them because it's holding really well. And then I'm going to add some color. We're going to kind of stay in the pink tones to complement the basket. And I'm just going to keep adding as I see fit, removing, putting here and there. Again, just have fun. I decided to add a couple of Easter eggs. Now, you don't have to do this if you want to keep it in a spring theme, but I just thought for Easter it'd be really cute to add a couple of eggs right there in between the flowers. And then I am going to bring in the scarf that we're going to work with. Tell me this is not gorgeous? I love the colors and it complements the flowers beautifully. We're going to cut half of it off and then we're going to loop it like an awareness ribbon. We're going to scrunch it in the middle and tie it into a bow. That's it. We're going to cut off the excess string and then we're going to make a little tie for the bow. We're going to take a leftover pick that is wired. We're going to fold it just like that. And then we're going to place it from the front to the back. And this is what we're going to use to squish it right into all the arrangement into the foam. How fun is that? All right, arrange the scarf as needed. Now, I thought I was done, but I felt like something was missing on that top portion. So I'm just going to add some of these faux fern picks from the Dollar Tree, and that worked great. Love the way this one turned out. I did a similar one for fall, and I thought a spring one would be beautiful using this pink basket. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this bunny sign. I love anything that has a tag look, and this bunny is so cute, and I realized it was double-sided. What? I didn't even think about that. I didn't see it at the store. We're not going to need the other side, but if you want to keep it, you can. We removed everything from it, including the little tail, and look at this beautiful scarf. You can wear this and really style it really cute. But you could also use it for crafts. So let's get to it. We're going to cut off half of it. No, it was about 24 inches. And then we cut off another little smaller piece. And we're just going to roll it into a size and cut and glue as needed to fit around the neck of the bunny. This is going to be the little scarf for the bunny, okay? So we're just going to hot glue it right there. And then the leftover, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to loop it like an awareness ribbon, scrunch it in the middle, tie it with some jute string, cut off the excess string and ribbon to make sure everything's nice and even. And then we're going to hot glue it on the left side of the bunny's neck. It's a bit oversized, I'll admit it, but I love it. I don't know what it is about oversized bows on bunnies that I love. All right, we're going to make another cute little bunny tail with just some yarn that I already had on hand. I'm going to wrap it around my finger a few times, remove it, tie it around in the center with more yarn, cut off all the loops open, and then just trim the bunny tail as you need. You can leave it like that. It doesn't matter. But I thought it needed a little larger bunny tail than what it brought. How cute. All right, we're going to add greenery. You can leave it like this if you want to use it as a double-sided. But today we're just going to use this one side. So I'm just going to add some greenery leaves that I had on hand and these faux ferns from Dollar Tree once again, just to make it kind of loop around both sides. We're going to keep adding some greenery and some flowers that are kind of complement the design. Beautiful purples and blues and a little pop of yellow to complement the scarf. Love, love, love this one. Now we want to hang it, so I'm just going to add a small little piece of the yarn in the back. We're going to hot glue it and tape it for a strong hold. And that's it, my friends. This one is so adorable. What a fun way to update this tag. Perfect for Easter. What do you think of this one? Of course, I want to know. Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this cross wreath form that is gorgeous. And look at the scarf. Oh my gosh. All right, so we are going to cut open. This is one of those infinity scarves. We're going to fold it in half and we're going to make sure that the tie, like the edge, falls on the bottom. And we're just going to hot glue it just like this to begin with, okay? So you don't have to hot glue the entire thing, but we're going to wrap it around and hot glue as needed. Now, at first, I thought the one piece was going to fit, and it did, but I did have to cut and hot glue and add as needed because it is a cross shape. So I'm just going to wrap it all the way from the bottom to the top. All right, so it is nicely wrapped. Don't worry about the wire showing in the front. We're going to cover that up. We're going to grab another one of these foam balls. This one's a little larger than earlier. We're going to cut it in half and we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to poke a couple of holes and we're going to thread a zip tie. This is the best way to attach these foam to the wire wreath forms. Just start from the top to the back, around through the wreath form, right there through the wire. I'm going to add hot glue to really secure that to the scarf and then thread it and tighten it as needed. Cut off the excess zip tie and then we're going to cover the entire thing again with Spanish moss. Add hot glue, cover it up, and we are going to add tons of flowers to this arrangement. This will be perfect for a front door, for a wall, and it's going to be vibrant and gorgeous. So wrap the moss all around the circle, and then we are going to top it off with more right there. And then add greenery. Add flowers, whatever you want. These are a combination of boxwood from Amazon and some Dollar Tree florals. And we're going to choose colors that are going to complement the scarf very nicely. I'm going to add a large yellow one right there in the center and then add these beautiful pink ones all around it. And we're just about done, my friend. How gorgeous is this? Oh my word, it's one of my favorites. Love that it's a cross. Love that's what Easter is all about. The resurrection of Jesus Christ. How gorgeous is this? Let me know what you think. Start with this wood round. You can find these at Dollar Tree pretty much year round. I know they are a little on the thinner side, but they make perfect crafting blanks. We're going to remove the juice drink from it and we're going to give it a light sand. If you worked with these before, you know what I'm talking about. They tend to be a little bit on the rough side, but that's okay. Just lightly sanded, dusted really well. I'm going to give it one coat of this beautiful sandstone tone by Waverly. Just one tone, just to give it a nice cover, but you don't have to. You can also stain it or paint it in any color you want. Once dry, again, we got to sand. I don't know what it is. It just makes it a little rough to the touch, but lightly sanded, dusted, and we're going to start with this gorgeous Believe wall decal. Now, these are meant to be put on the wall, okay? But you can use them for crafting. So I'm going to remove the little floral portion of it because I'm only going to need the Believe. So all I did was I used my X-Acto knife and cut around it. That way I can reuse the florals in another project. All right, so I'm just going to set it right there in the center. Then we're going to cut off the excess. You can reuse these in the same project or save them for later. I'm just going to put them to the side for now. These decals are pretty new to my Dollar Tree, but let me tell you, these peonies are gorgeous. They are two-sided, so you have a pink one and kind of like a grayish white one. Gorgeous. I'm going to remove it just like a sticker, and I'm just kind of move it around until I find a good spot for it. I'm going to flip it over, cut off the excess from the edge using my X-Acto knife. Then I'm going to bring in the white one, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to remove it just like a sticker, and then we're going to move it around, just kind of see where I want to place it. And then when you find the spot, always remember you can cut off whatever is not working well. In this case, this leaf was covering the L, so I just removed that and then removed a little bit on the other side. Now I'm going to take the excess portion and I'm going to reuse it on the little portion there that is bare. Perfect and so easy. Now it also brought these little tiny flower stickers and leaves. I'm just going to use them here and there to fill in. I want this wood round to look like a beautiful garden filled with flowers. and I think we'd accomplished it. So once I have those in place, I'm going to sand down those edges. Now, I know I did cut them with my X-Acto knife, but when you sand down, it removes, you see that? A tiny little bit of portion that it was just not close enough to the edge, and sanding it down really makes it flush and smooth to that edge. This has never happened to me before, my friend. The back portion of the wood round came off. Now, here's the thing. It made it very thin. And so it also curved it on me. So what I'm going to do, I am going to place these paint sticks. I'm going to cut them to size. And I'm just going to hot glue them and just press it down. Hold it until it hardens. This worked like magic. So if this happens to you, it's never happened to me before. But there's always a first time, right? This is how I fixed it, and it worked really well. So now that it's time to just add something to hang it, and of course we got to bring in, the white nautical rope from Dollar Tree. Hot glue it to the back, and that's it. You can add whatever else you want. I could have added greenery to the top, but I wanted to keep it on the simple side. I think this is stunning. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to bring in one of these flat canvases from Dollar Tree. They are perfect for crafts. They are 11 by 14, and I love them. Now, this one was a little bit, I don't know, dirty. It was so bizarre because the plastic was over it. Nonetheless, I wanted to paint it. I'm going to use this beautiful moss green by Waverly. I'm going to do 1.5 coats, just basically a full coat, and then a little bit here and there where it needed it. Let it dry. Now we're going to sand it in both directions, both sideways and long ways. And this is just going to give it a distressed look, but it almost looks like fabric. I thought it was so beautiful. I'm going to wipe it really, really well because we want to use these beautiful decals. This design is gorgeous. Again, just pull it off just like a sticker and place them wherever you want. Now, I wanted this sign to have a little bit more of a modern look, so I'm just going to kind of place them in different directions. You're going to see me here play around with it just a bit. Once I had that last one, I'm just going to place it there kind of sideways and then flatten it out with my hand. Flip it over, and again, we're just going to cut off that excess with my X-Acto knife. Again, we want to sand down those edges to make sure they're nice and flush to the edge and they're not going to pull off or fray on me. Then we are going to add one more detail. Now this decal has a golden tone to it. I'm going to add some gold flakes. Now if you've never worked with gold flakes, it is messy, but it is so fun and adds so much character. I'm going to add hot glue around those golden circles. And while it's still a little tacky, I'm going to add the flakes. Now work a little fast here because it will dry up on you. And I did the same thing on all designs where there was a circle. Once I kind of had it where I wanted, I'm just going to bring in a dry brush and just start brushing off the excess. You can later on add more if you want, but I thought for this one, I want to keep it on the simple. Sometimes you just really have to know when to stop, and I just felt in my heart I needed to stop, and I'm so glad I did. This is such a beautiful wall decor. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with one of these wood planks. I am sure you've seen these before. I have worked with them many times. Great for crafting. I'm going to remove the string. And again, we got to lightly sand them. I'm just going to sand the front and the back and then dust them really well. For this one, we're going to go with white. You know I love white. But first, we got to clean up these little holes. So I'm just going to add a little bit of spackle to the holes just so that it fills them in and you don't see them. This is Waverly Chalk Paint in the white, and I'm just going to do one coat and let it fully dry. Once dry, we're going to bring in my sanding block once again. We're just going to sand it down smooth, wipe it really, really well. And then this beautiful decal is one of my favorites. It's based on the scripture Philippians 4:6, where it says, don't worry about anything, but pray about everything. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to center it right there. And then at first I thought I wanted to split the don't worry about anything. And I'm just going to add 2 on one side and 2 on the other. I did change my mind, and you're going to see that here in just a minute. And that's okay. These decals actually stick really well, but they're easily removed and you can place them anywhere else. So you're going to see here, I'm just going to add the anything and the about, and then I'm just going to move the other 2 to the other side because I just felt like it flowed better. Now the other side is a little bit bare, so I thought let me add a little bundle of flowers. So I just grabbed some little picks that I had here and there from other projects. I'm just gonna bundle them up using some jute string, tie it around, hot glue it in place, and then add that excess little flower to the side. And of course, we got to add something to hang it from. You can add whatever you want. I'm just going to use the leftover nautical rope from earlier, and look how gorgeous this is. I'm going to gift this one to my mom, and I love the way it turned out, but I'd love to know what you think of it. Let me know. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with one of these wooden hearts from Dollar Tree. Now, you can find these during the Valentine's Day season, and this decal is stunning. It's a heart-shaped succulent, and it had these beautiful pastel colors. And what a perfect way to use these decals for this wooden heart. Now, you can use this just by itself, and I thought it would be gorgeous to do so, but I just wanted the 3D heart effect kind of thing. So I'm just going to sand down the edges again using my sanding block. It just really leaves smooth edges, but you can also use the X-Acto knife or your blade knife. It's up to you. I'm going to use another one of those flat canvases from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue the heart towards the left side. Now, this is another decal that I had left over from another project. I'm going to use that it says be grateful. I'm going to do it on a long ways. So vertically, I'm going to place it on the right side of the board. I'm going to cut off any excess as needed with my X-Acto knife, and then I'm going to hot glue the heart on the left side. To be able to hang this one, I'm just going to use this beautiful teal ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to tape it in place, and look how stunning this looks. I love the colors. I love the simplicity. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. We're going to start with this beautiful design and this wooden piece. It has a faux wood slice style. I'm going to remove the little embellishments as well as the staples, but I'm going to leave the jute string for now. So I'm just going to roughen up the surface, sand it down just a bit, wipe it well, and I'm going to cover up the beads because I don't want to get any adhesive spray. I'm going to use this Gorilla adhesive spray and spray the top surface. I'm going to remove the excess paper around the middle design, and then I'm going to place it right over the wood slice. Just like that, press it down firmly, and then we want to sand down the edges to remove the excess paper. This really works, friend. If you want to cut it, you can. You can use an X-Acto knife, but sanding it down really works, and it leaves such a smooth surface. Those edges will not fray on you. These round foam wreath forms you can find at Dollar Tree year-round, and they are perfect for crafting. We're going to take this one, and we are going to, of course, remove the sticker, and then we're going to wrap it around with ribbon. Now, you can use any ribbon you want. Dollar Tree has plenty of ribbon styles. I want to keep this one a little bit on the neutral side, so I'm just going to wrap it all the way around, and I had high hopes, my friend, that it was going to go all the way around, and it almost made it. It didn't, but it was just such a tiny little bit. I decided to take some burlap ribbon from other roll, and I'm just going to wrap it around that small area, and then I'm going to finish wrapping it around with the original one, and it worked. It worked really well. I secured it in with hot glue, cut off any excess, and then it was nicely covered. And we're going to cover up that part anyways. So once I had it secured, we are going to bring in the wood piece. Now, I thought I can keep the 3 beads. It was a little too long, so I'm going to remove 2 of them. I'm going to poke a hole with a screwdriver right through the top, right in the center of the ring. And then we are going to thread the jute string through it, make a knot on the top. I'm also going to hot glue it just so that it stays in there. Now we're going to add some greenery and some embellishments. This is faux ferns from Dollar Tree. I'm going to keep adding them here and there, securing with hot glue as needed. And then we're going to add some color, adding faux flowers from Dollar Tree. Just stick them right there. The glue really sticks to the burlap really well. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to add a little string to the back. We're just going to loop it, tie it in the knot, hot glue it, and tape it for extra security. And although you don't have to do that, you can just hot glue it, or you can tie it around the ring it's absolutely fine. But I think this one turned out super cute. I love the pop of color with the flower. I love the message. It is such an easy craft. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take this leftover sign from fall. You can find these during the fall season. I'm going to remove everything from it, including the little bow, and we are going to remove the little silver plates that you see there on the sides. I'm going to use my electric sander to sand down and smooth the surface. It did have a little bit of glitter, and so I used that, but you can use your sanding block. It's okay. I did remove a little bit of the paper that flayed up, but we are going to then sand it more and wipe it very well. I'm going to give it one pretty kind of messy coat of white paint. This is just to lighten up the surface so that it doesn't pop through or see through the page of the calendar. For this craft, we're going to use a beautiful design. This calendar is gorgeous. Now, this is the one we're going to use. I just thought it was perfect for it. Again, I'm going to use Gorilla Adhesive Spray, and I do have this Gorilla Adhesive Spray and many other items that we're going to use today in my Amazon store, my friends. So if you want to check it out, it is always linked down below in the description box. Once it was attached, I'm just going to use my electric sander, sand off the edges, and then use a nail filer for the tight corners. I'm going to replace those silver metal plaques right there on each side. Hot glue is plenty sufficient, but be careful because they do get very hot. I'm going to take some Spanish moss. Now, Dollar Tree carries Spanish moss, but my Dollar Tree hasn't carried it in a while. So I found this one on Amazon, and I do have it in my Amazon store if you're looking for some. All right, so I'm just going to hot glue it to the top portion, and then we're going to add, again, greenery and flowers. These are the same faux ferns that we used earlier. Now, I want to make them a little shorter, so I usually just cut off some of the stem, hot glue it back on it, and it makes these cute little smaller picks. I'm just going to add a couple towards the right upper corner. You add whatever you want. You can even add little tiny eggs and make it look like a little nest. Oh, the possibilities are endless. All right, so I'm going to add a couple of these, one pink and one of the reddish tone flowers, and just keep the leaves on them because I thought they added a cute little touch of color. Had glue in them, and that's it. Such an easy craft anyone can do. I love redoing these for every season because why not? It's so fun, and using a calendar is so inexpensive and beautiful. What do you think? Let me know. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, it's going to be such a fun one. Look at these beautiful designs. Oh my word. I'm going to use this one right here, and I'm going to use a combination of X-Acto knife, my rotary color, my ruler, and we're going to start cutting pieces off of it. Now, if you want to recreate this, you certainly can. I just want to inspire you so that you can create your own greeting card because that's what we're making today. I'm going to use this, it's kind of like a poster board, and we are going to use double-sided tape to attach everything. Now, I do have these double-sided tape in my Amazon store, so feel free to check it out as well. I cut as needed, folded it into the greeting card size that I needed, and now I'm just going to cut off everything else that I'm going to use because we're pretty much going to use every inch of this design. So I'm going to cut off the words. I'm going to add more of the double-sided tape and attach that to the front. So this is going to be the front of my greeting card, just like that. We're going to open it up, and now we're going to do the inside. We're going to add the words towards the left side, no, the right side of the card. And at first I wanted it kind of like in the center. I did move it in a little bit, and that is what is nice about using double-sided tape. You can remove it like a sticker and place it right back on. The dress is gorgeous, so we're going to use that as well, and in the flowers too. So we're just going to attach the dress kind of where it fits, add the tape on the back, and then once it's attached, then we'll remove the excess from the bottom so it's nice and flush. To the other side, we are going to add the flower so it matches the front, and here's what I'm talking about. You can remove it and place it right back. So we moved it up because we needed the space on the bottom. I'm going to cut off any excess flowers because, of course, we don't want to overlap and cover the words, and add it right to the bottom. Now, again, this is the design that I chose because it's the calendar page that I chose, and it's just what worked for me. But you do whatever you want. You do whatever size greeting card. Add whatever you want. But look how fun and festive this card is. It would make a great gift for somebody. And again, with so many calendars, so many pages, so many designs, the possibilities are endless. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to start with this beautiful calendar, and we're going to start with the tiny little ones from the back. For this craft, oh my word, this would be a perfect gift for your little ones, and it'll be great to make it with them as well. Now, I'm going to speed up a lot of the process because it is a lot of cutting, okay? So it is very repetitive, so I'll speed it up, but I'll slow it down wherever we need to. So the first things first, I just want to mark the center, cut all around the squares. I want to leave some of that border, and I want it to look somewhat even, but don't look for perfection, just have fun. So I'm going to use my rotary cutter, my X-Acto knife, ruler, whatever I need to make it happen. Now, Dollar Tree has these beautiful glitter papers. They are 3 in a pack, and they're like a sticker. So I'm going to use the remaining one that I had from my previous project, and I'm going to remove the back. Again, it's just like a sticker, and I'm going to place all of these squares right on it. This is so that we want to cover the back of it so you don't see the calendar page. You know what I mean? So it looks nice and pretty. So I'm just going to attach them, and then using my scissors, I am going to cut off the X's back. Now, I did have a couple extra ones, so I did have to take another one of those glittery sticker pages and add it to those. Once it was done, I'm going to take one of these laminating sheets. I get these on Amazon as well as my laminating machine, and I do have it on my Amazon store if you want to check it out. And I'm just going to place them right inside. Once I have them there, I'm just going to feed it to the machine. It does its thing. Now, I do like to press it through twice. So once it's done on one side, I flip it over and then I put it in again. You don't have to do this. You can just do it once. I think that's all that is needed. I do let it cool down for a couple of seconds, maybe 5 seconds, and then put it back in. So now I'm going to use my scissors and once again, cut. Cut off the excess laminating sheets, leaving about as equal amount of corner or edges as possible. Now I'm going to use my crocodile. You can use a hole puncher as well. And I'm going to punch a hole in the upper left corner. Now make sure that all the little squares are facing the right way, okay? Now I'm going to take one of these book binder rings that you can find at a Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to thread them right through. This will be a great way to put maybe pictures of your family or maybe even scriptures, whatever you want. I know my son, when he was in preschool, he wanted to take a picture of his family because he missed us so much. This would have been great to put a picture of mommy, daddy, friends, family, grandma, whatever. What a gorgeous gift. So creative. I love using these. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. We are working with these fan dusters. If you've never worked with them, here's your sign that you should be. I grabbed 2 of them, and we're going to remove the tags, and we're also going to remove the handles. At first, I thought I could just use my wire cutters to cut it. It was just a little too thick. So I was able to just kind of keep turning and twisting the handle until both of them came off. So just keep doing that very carefully. Then we're just going to take the wire and we're just going to carefully bend over so that they are hidden in between all the fuzzies. We did the same thing to the second one. We're going to grab white jute string as well as hot glue. We're going to join these 2 dusters together on the flat side. So we're going to first add hot glue, and then we're going to add 2 pieces of the jute string in between the center, and then just tie them. Tie in as snug as you are able to in a simple knot, and cut off the excess jute string. This is going to join them together and create a nice tight bond. So now that we are getting to creating what will be a bunny, we're going to bring in some foam board. Now, you've seen these before at Dollar Tree. They carry them year round. I'm just going to take a piece that I already had on hand, and we're going to take this wreath form in the shape of a bunny. We're going to trace the ears, and we are going to cut them using my blade knife. You can do whatever you want to the ears, my friends. You can paint them. You can use craft paper. In this case, I'm going to use some fabric that I recently got at Hobby Lobby. We're just going to cover the front of it. We're just going to add hot glue and cut off the X's. We'll do the same thing to the second one, and then we're going to flip them to its back, and we're going to fold all the edges inwards and secure them with more hot glue. We are now going to take 2 bamboo skewers, and we're going to hot glue 1 to each ear on the back. So just add a strip of glue and place them right there. And then we're going to add masking tape right on top just for extra security and bond. Once I had that, I realized I really want to cover that back. It just looked messy. So I'm going to take a piece of craft paper that I had already used for another project. I'm going to trace it, and then we're going to cut it about 1/4 of an inch inside of the line. So just a little smaller than what the ears are. That way we can hot glue into the back. It'll be clean and neat and just look a little bit more professional. I did the same thing to the second one, and then we are going to place them with some hot glue right inside all the fuzzies. So just keep poking and pushing right through the center. Add hot glue when both of them meet and just hold it in place until it hardens. Now we are going to join both ears together by adding a little bit of dab of hot glue and then join them and hold it until it hardens. We're going to add some greenery and embellishments. These are some greeneries that I had from Walmart, and these yellow ones are from, I believe, from Walmart as well. And then some pink and white flowers from Dollar Tree. You can do whatever you want, my friends. Just add any flowers you want, any fabric you want. This one is absolutely gorgeous. I love how bright and airy and springy it looks. And we use 2 dusters. How about that? Let me know what you think down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with these Easter eggs garland that you can find at Dollar Tree Plus. Love these, the design. Some of them have feathers. They're so cute. We're going to remove each individual egg by cutting off the jute string and just putting them to the side. I'm also going to use 2 of these silver wired wreath forms from Dollar Tree. We're going to take them and remove the tags, and 2 of these dusting mobs from Dollar Tree as well. Remove the tags, and we are going to cut these directly in half. Then we're going to place them inside of the wreath form. So the wreath form, it's on its front, okay? So we're flipping it upside down, and we're going to add the mobs right inside. Don't worry about hot gluing it. You're not going to need it. Just basically make sure that all of the inside is covered. Then we're going to start hot gluing each egg onto the white dusting mobs. Do whatever design you want. I just started hot gluing. I just wanted to make sure that the eggs are to the center as possible. So make sure they're not overlapping on the edges. And then we're going to place the other wired wreath form right on top. Just kind of snug in the eggs as needed, making sure that the inside of the wreath form, and then take 4 zip ties from Dollar Tree and start zip tying the wreath forms together. Just on the outside wire, just thread it from the bottom to the top, and then don't tighten it right away. Just put all the zip ties in first. Once you have them all, I placed 4 of them, 1 on top, bottom, and each side. And then once they're in place, then basically just tighten them as needed, and then cut off the excess zip tie. This is going to hold it in place, and you're not even going to need zip ties on the inside of the wreath form. Then I wanted to add a nice bow. So we're going to use some burlap ribbon. This is from burlapfabric.com. We're going to make a 4-loop ribbon, scrunch it in the middle, tie it with jute string, and then we're going to make a second bow using a beautiful teal burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. Again, 4 loops, scrunch it in the middle, tie it with jute string. And then we're going to make a third bow using ticking stripe that I got on Amazon. And we're going to make a double loop bow, and same thing, scrunch it in the middle, tie it. And then we're going to join all 3 bows together. We're going to place the ticking stripe on top of the teal one, and then those 2 on top of the burlap. We're going to secure them to each other by tying them together. Once the bows are nicely fluffed, just cut off the excess ribbon in a dovetail shape. That way it looks neat and professional. And of course, we want to then attach it to the wreath form. So we're just going to attach it to the top, and we're going to use another zip tie, and then just thread it through the top wire on top of the bows, and then just tighten it as needed. Now to the center, you can leave it like this. You can add greenery, but I decided to add 1 more egg with hot glue right there in the center. That way it'll complement the whole design. And look how stunning this looks. It's so grand. It's so beautiful. I love the muted tones that it has. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with one of these cloches from Dollar Tree. You can find these year-round, and we're going to open it up and hot glue foam right inside and then add some moss right on top. Don't worry about hot gluing it. We're going to take a couple of more of those little eggs from the garland. Just remove the jute string and hot glue them next to each other, and then place the clear dome right on top. You can use a stick if you need to push some of that moss in, and it'll work really well. Then we're going to bring in some ribbon. Dollar Tree has beautiful ribbon for Easter and spring, and this one is a beautiful pink burlap style one. We're going to cut off a piece that's going to be enough to go around the base, fold it in half, and hot glue it in place. This is just going to cover that black base. Now, I did want to add some greenery, so we're going to add this piece of greenery that I had left over. I'm just going to cut little tiny pieces and hot glue them all around the perimeter, and we're going to do it in between the cloche and the ribbon. And we're going to do the same thing, but with these tiny little purple flowers that are from Dollar Tree. Once I had it in place, I'm going to layer another type of ribbon from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just going to do it right in the center of the pink ribbon. This is just going to add more texture, more color. And I love layering things. So I'm just going to hot glue it in place, cut off the excess, and that's it, my friends. What an easy craft. Oh my gosh, such cute little eggs snuggled up in there in its little nest. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take one of these faux wooden slices from Dollar Tree, remove all the greenery and all the embellishments, but we are going to keep the little tie on the top. I'm going to roughen it up and remove some of that sheen with my electric sander, wipe it really well, and then add 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white, but of course you can use any color you want depending on what style you're looking for. I'm going to put that to the side and let it dry. We're going to create 2 other ears. This time I'm going to freehand them. I need them to be a little tall and thin. So I'm just going to use my pencil and my blade knife to get these done. And I'm going to use the first one, trace it on another piece of foam board. That way they'll be as close as possible in shape and size. Once I had them in place, I want to cover them up with some yarn. I recently got these yarns at Walmart actually, and they had a great deal, and I love the colors for this one. So I'm just going to add a little hot glue at the top and just start wrapping them up, hot gluing as needed. But basically it's just the top and the bottom where you need hot glue. Once I had them nicely covered, we are going to attach them one on each side of the little tie. We're going to add hot glue, and once they were joined together, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use a clothespin to secure them even more in place. So we're going to remove the metal portion, add hot glue to the flat side, and hot glue it and hold it in place. If you have popsicle sticks, that works well as well, but these clothespins work really good because they're very sturdy. I am now going to freehand a cute little bunny face. So I'm going to start with a triangle nose with rounded edges. I'm going to use a permanent marker to create the mouth, some whiskers, and some beautiful eyes. I love the way she turned out. All right, so then we're going to add some rosy cheeks. I added a little bit too much paint, so I'm just going to wipe off the excess, and it worked really well. Now we're going to add embellishments, of course, so I'm going to add some light colored leaves, leftovers from another pick. Some of these picks that we used earlier, just add them right there and just layer all kinds of greenery, including this darker one, and then a beautiful pink flower right there in the center to finish it off. And look how beautiful she looks. Oh my gosh, she's ready for spring, looking like a princess. I love the colors and I love the style. What do you think of this one? With this huge canvas that you can find at Dollar Tree Plus. They come 2 in a pack, 16 by 20, my friend, and they are $5. I'm going to use 2 different paint tones. This is Sandstone by Waverly, and I'm also going to use a white. And for this, we are just going to have fun. We are just going to start painting, and I want it to have almost like a faux marble, at least my version of it. So I'm just going to do a little swirls, and I'm just going to have fun. Once I have the sandstone color applied, I'm going to take the white and just pour it on top. Do the same thing until I have what I want. There's no right or wrong way. Just do what you want. Use whatever color background you want. I was recently at Dollar Tree again and I found these adorable bunnies that say blessed. They are a pretty good size and I brought home one and I gotta tell you, it was $3. It was so worth it. But I feel like it needed a little bit of judging. So we're gonna remove everything from it, including the little bow as well as the blessed. Well, let me tell you, I tried removing the blessed and I was not very successful because it just snapped. So instead of just ruining it, I just decided to hot glue it, leave it as is. I did remove the little bunny tail because we are going to create a better one here in just a bit. I want to lighten up the green. I thought it was very pretty, but I want to mute it down just a little bit. So I'm going to dry brush white paint and I'm just going to very, very lightly dry brush it. Once it was completely dry, it's time to bring in the fabric that we're going to use for this one. This one's very neutral. I love the color tones and it complements both the canvas as well as the bunny. I'm going to iron it just a little bit to remove some of those creases. I have this tiny little iron from Cricut, but if you don't have one, you can always find one on Amazon, and I do have one in my Amazon store, which is always linked down below in the description box. I'm going to cut a piece and fold it in half and then just kind of scrunch it a little bit. And we're going to fold it towards the back of the bunny's neck and we're going to hot glue it in place. Then we're going to take another piece and we're going to create the bow. So I'm just going to fold it as needed to create a bow the size that I kind of like, but you do whatever you want. I'm going to take another piece, tie it in the center, and these are going to be my little legs for the bow. Then I'm just going to hot glue it towards the front of the bunny and cut off any excess ribbon from the bottom in a dovetail shape. I want to add a little bit of greenery, so I had these laying around. I'm just going to hot glue them underneath the bow on each side. Then we're going to create a cute little bunny tail. We're going to make it larger and fluffier. I'm going to take some of this white yarn that I got at Hobby Lobby a very long time ago. I'm going to wrap it around this scraper several times, tie it in the center with some more yarn and cut off open all of the little loops, and then we're going to trim it and leave it in the size that we want. Once it was done, we're just going to hot glue it right there. And then it's time to put everything together. The canvas is nicely dry, and I got to tell you, the camera does not do it justice. The texture and the color is beautiful. I'm going to hot glue the bunny right there, right in the center, and it is all done, friend. Oh my gosh, this one is gorgeous. I love the muted tones, that neutral colors for Easter. Love this one. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this large egg that I found at Dollar Tree Plus for $3. They come in different shades, but I grabbed the blue one. But looking back, I wish I would have gotten the golden tone, and you're going to see why. I'm going to remove the plastic, and it's just as simple as putting it together. There's no need to hot glue it, nothing like that, because we are going to cover it using fabric. These two little rolls complement each other so nicely. We are going to iron out all those little creases on both fabrics, and then we're going to stack them on top of each other and cut them first in strips of about 2.5 inches wide, and then we are going to cut them into squares. And this is just because we are going to Mod Podge these fabric squares onto the egg. I'm going to water down some Mod Podge. I ended up needing more than what I did, but always start with a little bit, and you can always add more if you need to without wasting. I'm going to add my gloves because I just got my nails done. So I'm going to start applying Mod Podge. Now, the reason why I watered it down is because I want the fabric to really absorb the Mod Podge and make it easier on me. So I'm just going to keep applying it. I'll speed it up here for you because it's very repetitive, but I do want to show you how I stack each square kind of like semi on top of each other, just making sure everything is covered. Once I reached the top portion, I just basically stood up the egg and I continued to do the same thing. I did double up a little bit on some of the white fabric because you can see a little bit of blue through it, and this is why I said I wish I would have gotten the golden tone one. But at the time, I wasn't sure which fabrics I was going to use. So here it is, all nice and dry. And I got to say, I love it. So I found this candle stand or candle holder at Dollar Tree recently. I brought it home. I'm going to take some foam also from Dollar Tree, cut off a piece, hot glue it right there on top of the candle holder. And then we're going to start adding greenery all around the edge. This is a bag that I have filled with different greenery picks that fall off from larger picks or maybe even left over from other projects. And I'm just going to start adding them here and there hot gluing as needed. I added some larger leaves too because the egg's a little bit on the larger side. I really wanted to fill in those empty spaces. I also used my little screwdriver to make little holes to add hot glue as needed because that way it would fit in and not fall off. Then it's time to add the egg. So I'm just going to add a lot of hot glue right there, place it right on top, and then you just hold it. Literally, you just hold it until it hardens. And this one is gorgeous. I love the size of this one. You can use any fabric, color, and design that you want, but I would love to know what you think of this one. Let me know. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft is such a fun one. All right, so I found this beautiful rainbow fabric. Again, I'm just going to open it up, iron it out just a little bit. Not the whole thing because we are not going to use all of it, but I'm going to use half. I'm going to cut it down the center and then fold it in half. Then on the open side, I'm going to cut off a piece, kind of like a semicircle. It's going to look a little bit like a t-shirt or maybe like a tank top. And this is going to be a little treat bag. Dollar Tree has these beautiful ribbon designs perfect for Easter. I'm going to take this beautiful pink one and I'm going to add rocks. Now, I don't have candy at home right now, so we're going to use rocks and pretend it's candy. And we're going to fill in the little treat bag and we're going to just close it up by tying the ribbon in a very simple bow. Just like make a very simple bow, cut off any excess ribbon that you may have. And then we are going to shape the top into ears. I thought this was so cute. I saw something similar on Pinterest, was so inspired, and I thought I can create my own using Dollar Tree items. We're going to make a little bunny tail for our little treat bag. So we're going to make another little bunny tail using the yarn. Same thing we did earlier, just a little bit smaller. Shape it into the size and shape that we want and hot glue it to the bag. This is so stinking cute. I would love to make a couple of these for Easter. I think if you fill them up with some beautiful, yummy candy, I think it'd be perfect. But what do you think? This next Dollar Tree DIY craft is another fun one. This is more decorative. We're going to use this yellow, beautiful fabric. Again, we're going to iron it. And this one, we're going to do the whole thing because we're going to use it entire fabric. So we are going to iron it and then we're going to take this double stack of foam from Dollar Tree. We're not even going to remove it from the plastic because we're going to use both of them. We're going to cover it up after we place it right in the center of the fabric, fold the fabric, and then we're going to tie both ends. And I think you know where we're going with this. How cute is this? We're going to tie each side and we're going to make a little full candy. Perfect for Easter. What a fun decorative item that you can add anywhere in your home. Cut off the excess fabric from the ends, fluff it up a little bit, and then we're going to leave the ribbon open like this because we're going to take some of these bead garlands that you can find at Dollar Tree currently for Easter. We're going to take one of each color, a pink, a yellow, a white, and a blue, and hot glue them to each end. How cute is this? You can actually fill it up with candy if you want. You can also poke a hole right in the center of each foam, fill it up with some fun candy, and it'll make a great gift. What do you think? This one is one of my favorites, and it's such an easy craft. Kids and grandkids would love to make this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Why did I not know that Dollar Tree carry these glittery adhesive papers? They come in a variety of colors and they are perfect for crafting. I brought several of them home and was so happy to find out they come 3 in a pack. Love, love, love. Then I headed to the hardware store and I found one of these wooden rounds. Now you can use one of Dollar Tree's wooden rounds, but if you want to make something that you could potentially sell for more of a profit, I highly recommend these. But what I'm making today, you can definitely recreate with a Dollar Tree wood round. I'm going to remove the plastic and everything from it. I'm going to lightly sand it, not a heavy sand, just very lightly. Wipe it really, really well because I do want to paint it. Now you can stain these, they are real wood, but I'm going to paint it white. I'm going to use a Waverly chalk pen in the white and I'm just going to do one coat. I'm going to do the top, the sides, and the back. I want everything to be covered. Now we're going to take this pink tone glittery pages. Love the size, such a great quality. I also printed this umbrella on regular paper on my laser printer and I'm just going to trace it on some carbon paper. I get this carbon paper on Amazon, and they come with these little tools that you can trace. You can also use a pen if you don't have a tool. I'm just going to trace the bottom portion of the umbrella first. Now, I had to separate the top and the bottom of the umbrella because it wouldn't fit for the size that I needed because of the wood round is 15 inches long or wide. But if you use one of Dollar Tree's wood rounds, you can definitely use 1 page. I'm now going to trace the top portion in the same tone of the paper, and then we're just going to cut it using our scissors. That is how easy this is. We're going to put that to the side, then we're going to grab a golden tone sheet of the same glittery paper, and we are going to cut the middle portion of the umbrella. Very easy. Now I'm going to lightly sand the wood round now that it's fully dry. I'm going to wipe it really well, and then we are going to flip it to its back because we want to add the hardware before we add anything to the front. So we are going to take some of these hooks. I get this on Amazon as well. I'm going to attach the hooks first. Then I'm going to thread the little washer on the wire and then through the hook, again through the washer and tightening it. It's really easy, but I love doing these because it makes it very professional looking, very durable. And when you sell it, you want to sell something really good quality. I also printed this hello spring words or phrase, and I'm just going to trace it again on the top of the wood round using the carbon paper. This time we are going to fill it in with permanent marker. Actually, this is paint marker. And yes, I do have it in my Amazon store as well. If you have a cutting machine, go ahead and do that. I do have a cutting machine, but I wanted to show you how easy and professional it looks when you use items that you can find. Now, once I had them filled in, make sure you seal everything. I didn't show you this part, but you do have to seal it in case it's going to be placed outdoor in a front door where it's going to be exposed to the elements. We're going to place the umbrella portion to the bottom. So basically, we are treating these just like stickers now. Remove the back and place it where you want it. The golden one is going to go right in the center. We're going to remove the excess. And now we're going to hot glue some flowers. This is going to be screaming spring. Bright, beautiful flowers here and there. These are all from Dollar Tree, my friends. Gorgeous. I'm also going to add some leaves because I thought it just needed something popping through. And look how stunning this looks. Friends, we did not spend much, but this looks so high-end, so beautiful and bright and cheery. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with one of these wooden hearts from Dollar Tree. You can find these during the Valentine's Day season. I'm going to remove the jute string and we're going to give it one coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white. We're going to put that to the side, let it dry. We're going to take a couple of these wood slices that I do get on Amazon and the pink tone glittery sheet. I'm going to trace this X and O right on it. These are just some letters that I have on hand. And then we're going to cut them using my X-Acto knife. I want this to be a Valentine's Day themed, but you can take the inspiration and use it for any other decor you'd like or season. Once I have them cut, it's as easy as peeling the back like a sticker and placing one in each wood slice. Now that the wooden heart is dry, we're just going to plank it. We're going to take a permanent marker and a ruler and just start adding planks. You can skip this part, but I just thought it added a nice touch and just kind of texture and look. I'm going to dry brush some antiquing wax. This is a Waverly antiquing wax. I'm just going to dry brush this on the edges. Take your time. I'm also going to distress it just a little bit here and there and then sand it down just to mute it and really blend it in. We're going to wipe it well and then we're going to take a permanent marker. This is a thicker one. We're going to line the edges. This is just going to add dimension to the heart. Now, I did mess up right there. You see how I went inwards? Don't worry if you do that. All I did was I basically filled it in and added more of a little bit of a heavier distress to it. It actually worked out really well. I added a few more just to complement that one. And so I think I like the way it turned out. So if you do that, don't panic. Just fill it in. There it is. How cute. All right, we're going to hot glue each wood slice towards the left side of the heart, one on top of each other, spelling the phrase XO. And then we're going to grab some of these beautiful purple, kind of like a deep pink flowers from Dollar Tree. We're going to make a little bundle with some jute string, hot glue it to the right side of the heart, right there. Now we're going to take some Dollar Tree nautical rope. We're going to make a faux knot. We're just going to make a knot very tightly, cut off the excess from the top and the bottom, and hot glue it to the front, just like that. We're going to do it again for the other side. Again, just make a very tight knot, remove the top and the bottom excess rope, and hot glue it to the top. Very easy. Then we're going to add more rope to the back. This is just going to make it seem like it's hanging through the knots, but really it's not. It's such an easy way to hang your signs. All right, I added hot glue, but I'm also going to add a little bit of masking tape just to add more security. And look how gorgeous this looks. You can use any color combinations you want. Love, love, love the way this turned out, but let me know what you think. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this wooden stake. I found this in the garden center at the hardware store. It has a stake-like look on one side, but it's flat on the other side. And I thought, how perfect, and it was really inexpensive. I'm going to cut a few pieces off of it. One's going to be about 3 inches, the other one about 4 inches, and then about 4.5 to 5 inches. I just want all of them to have different sizes. I'm going to sand them down just a little bit to remove any splinters and wipe them really well. I think I'm going to paint them white, but I'm also going to give it a distressed look. I'm going to give it a heavy dry brush and just going to add some white paint, but make it look like it's a little bit distressed. I'm going to put that to the side for a few minutes to dry, and then we're going to bring in my shape puncher. Look how cute these are. I love these. They come in different shapes like a heart, star, flowers, snowflake, you name it. I got this on Amazon, and it is in my Amazon store if you want to check it out. I'm going to punch 3 of them just to have an extra one just in case I need it. But look how cool. You just literally punch it, open the bottom, and there's your little sticker. How fun. You can also use the actual cutout as part of another craft. So it's up to you. I'm going to hot glue 2 pieces together and make a bundle of 2, or 2 bundles of 2. There you go. And then we're going to place a little heart right there in the center of each one. Then we're going to take some jute string and we're going to wrap it around each bundle. You don't have to wrap it around a lot because you don't want to cover the heart. Just make a very simple knot and make sure that the jute string excess, the strings just lay flat to the front. That's it. Very easy. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side as well. Now we want this to look like little people hugging. So I'm going to bring in these little wood beads and we're going to hot glue them to the top, and that's going to be their heads. Now I left them in the bare wood. I thought it contrasted very nicely, but you can add color if you'd like. It's completely up to you. I thought this was such a cute craft. I was inspired by what I saw on Pinterest. Love the look, love the colors, and I love how fresh and beautiful it is. What do you think of this one? For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with one of these glass cutting boards. You can find these at Dollar Tree, and they are in the home section, kind of like the utensil section. We're going to trace these cute little flowers I found online, and we're going to take 2 different shades, the pink, the purple, and the golden tone. And then the little circle in the center of each flower, we're just going to use a different color, and that way they complement each other. So we're just going to trace with the carbon paper, cut with my scissors, and then as easy as removing the back, just like a sticker, and then placing them on the cutting board. Now, you can place them wherever you want, or you can even make more flowers. It's whatever you want to do. I'm going to place them towards the bottom left, and again, we're just going to remove the back and add them like stickers, and then add different tone or shade, a color of the center, and that way, again, it just complements each other. Now, for the top portion, I feel like something was missing. I found these wooden love pieces at Dollar Tree in their Valentine's aisle. They come 3 in a pack. I've already used 2 of them. I'm a little obsessed with them at the moment. And I'm going to use my last one. I'm just going to hot glue it towards the, I don't know, maybe top left corner, just wherever you want. Use your imagination. Now, this could be a plant holder. This could be a jewelry holder, a little knickknacks holder, whatever you want it for. But I think it's gorgeous. Such a fresh look. But let me know what you think of this one. I'm going to start with one of these wooden hearts. Now, of course, you can use this for Valentine's Day, but you can also really make this into a spring decor, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to spray adhesive this beautiful craft paper. This craft paper came from a book that I purchased at Hobby Lobby quite a bit ago. I sprayed one coat and then I'm just going to place the paper right on top, flattening it out. Then I'm going to use my sanding block and I'm just going to sand downward the excess paper. This is going to smooth out those edges, remove the paper, and I'm also going to use a nail filer to remove the ones in the tight corners. I'm going to use this burlap ribbon. Is gorgeous. This one is actually from Dollar General. I'm just going to place in the middle with a little bit of a tilt and I'm going to hot glue it in place. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut very closely to the edge of the heart to give it that nice rounded shape. I am now going to use this beautiful pink velvet ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm going to hot glue it right in the center, keeping the same angle. I'm going to cut off the edges, again really close to the edge, and then we're going to bring this burlap polka dot one from Dollar Tree as well and place it right on top. Gorgeous. I love layering things and I love layering ribbon. Again, we're going to cut off the excess in the nice rounded shape. This flower came from last year's stash. I removed the stem from it and I'm just going to add hot glue to the edge as well as the center. And we're just going to place it right there towards the right side of the heart. Beautiful. These green leaves are just extra ones that I had left over from other picks. I'm going to hot glue one towards the top and another one towards the bottom. It's just going to add a pop of color and freshness to the entire design. And then I'm going to add a little piece of burlap ribbon to the back. We're just going to loop it, hot glue it in place. And so that it looks nice and clean, I'm going to add another piece of that velvet pink ribbon just to kind of, I don't know, clean it off. But I think it looks gorgeous, my friends. Wow. This is definitely one of my favorites from today. I love the textures. I love the design. But what do you think of it? Let me know down in the comments. For this next spring Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take this heart-shaped wreath form. You can find these during the Valentine's Day season or leading to it. We're going to cut up several of these burlap ribbon. This one is from burlapfabric.com, but you can use Dollar Tree's burlap ribbon as well. I'm going to cut these into 6 inches long, then I'm going to stack them together and I'm just going to dovetail cut the ends. I cut enough to go around the wreath form, but don't worry if you don't cut enough. Just start with a small amount and then just add more if you need to so you don't waste any ribbon. Now I'm going to just thread them through the outward portion of the wire and we're going to loop it and hot glue it to itself, just like that. And we're going to do that all around the heart, all around the outside perimeter. If you get to a place where you have a wire in between, don't worry. All you got to do is just kind of look where you need to make a slit and you just slit one side and then you can just hot glue it one on each side of the wire, just like that. We're going to do it again in a little bit and I'll show you. So we're going to finalize this last layer and then we're going to bring in some nautical rope from Dollar Tree. This is the white kind. You can find this year round. We're going to wrap around the 2 middle wire portion. This took me a little bit. And it's okay. I just put on a movie or some music and you just start wrapping it around. The key here is to hot glue as needed, especially in the ones that have an angle or also rounded. But just take your time and start wrapping it around. So we have the entire middle portion now wrapped up. Now we're going to take this beautiful Dollar Tree heart ribbon. We're going to cut it into 7-inch strips. Again, just cut a few, and if you need more, then cut more. We're then going to do the same thing we did earlier. We're going to fold it, and we're going to dovetail cut those ends because we want it to match the design of the other ribbon. And then we're going to attach it to the wreath, but this time we're going to do it on the back side of the wreath. So I cut each ribbon in half, just like you see there, and I'm going to start hot gluing. Now I'm going to start in the top, and I'm going to make sure that each layer overlaps to the next one just a little bit. It doesn't have to overlap much. Just a little bit will do, and I did that all around the heart. So we're just about done adding the red ribbon. Now, as you can tell, the design is on the back of the wreath. This is because we're not going to pull them forward, just like that. And I'm going to use my scissors. The ones that are behind a wire, I'm going to show you because we're going to cut those again. So I'm going to keep pulling them so that we can reveal the beautiful design on top of the burlap. Now, the ones with the wire in between is the same thing as earlier. We're just going to make a slit right where we need to, right where the wire is, and then you're going to pull it forward. And I'm going to do it again twice so you can see it. Right there, we're going to cut right where that wire is, and then we're going to pull it forward. And one more time, we're just going to make a cut to the ribbon where the wire is and then pull it forward. It's so easy, and it just makes things so much easier because you don't have to worry about making sure it fits. All right, so now we're going to add some leaf. Again, these are just extra ones that I've had from other pigs. I'm going to add 3 of these darker green tones, one for the bottom to the top, and then one towards the outside of the upper right side corner. Then I'm going to add these lighter tone green leaves just right on top. It doesn't matter. And then this beautiful, it has like a deep red, kind of like a pinkish tone, but I love how it complements everything and it brings everything together. And this wreath is absolutely gorgeous. How romantic, how simple, how easy, and how fun. Let me know what you think of this one. For this next spring DIY craft, I'm going to take this beautiful little wooden house. You can find these at Dollar Tree pretty much year round. Maybe not this exact one, but similar ones. My first attempt was to remove the rim with my heat gun and a little spatula. That did not work. This thing is attached quite a bit, so I just let it be. We're going to make it work. Now we're going to take different types of spring tone ribbons from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use my little spatula to just kind of press and make cuts. I want to make sure that the cuts are very, very flush to the rim because I was not able to remove it. So we're going to add this beautiful teal color burlap style ribbon. And this is where you can get as creative as you want, my friend. Okay, so put it wherever you want. Use whatever ribbon you want, whatever thickness, whatever style, whatever colors. I'm just going to cover the entire middle section using my little spatula to just kind of tell me where I need to cut, make cuts, hot glue, and have fun. I'm going to speed this up quite a bit, okay? But basically, it's very repetitive. You just grab a ribbon, make cuts as needed, hot glue it, and use whatever design you want. All right, so we're just about done with covering the center, and I'm going to add some greenery. I love greenery. If you follow me for a while, you know that. I'm just going to add a little bit of embellishments, add greenery to the bottom left corner, and hot glue it in place. And then these cute little gnomes have a beautiful Easter style. We're going to hot glue it right there to the center. Now, so that we can stand the little house, I want to trim off some of those leaves from the bottom just to kind of fix it there. And that's it. What a beautiful, such an easy craft anyone can make. Perfect for spring, perfect for Easter. What do you think of this one? Let me know. For this next Dollar Tree spring DIY craft, I'm going to take this love sign from Dollar Tree and I'm going to remove the little wreath it had. It was cute as it is, but we are going to make it even better. I'm also going to remove any excess glue and just roughen up the surface just by lightly sanding it and wiping it really well. I'm going to cover everything up with some white paint. This is Waverly chalk paint in the white. Once it was dry, we're going to take this beautiful ribbon from Dollar Tree, and it has this gorgeous rope style, but it has a pink tone to it as well. I'm going to line the 3 letters, the L, the V, and the E with it, and I'm just going to hot glue and cut as needed. Now that those 3 letters are covered, we're going to take the O and we're going to add this cute little wreath form, and we're going to hot glue it in place. Now we're going to keep it kind of simple, but I do want to complement the pink in the ribbon. So I'm going to take these flowers from Dollar Tree as well as the leaves, and we're going to hot glue it all around the wreath form. I'm going to take this frame. I had already used this for the fall season, so I'm going to mark where I need to add hot glue, and that way we're not adding too much excess. We're going to hot glue it, and that's it. What an easy craft anyone can do. Now, the love sign was pretty as it was, but let me tell you, adding the spring tones really took it to the next level. I would love to know what you think of this one. Let me know. We are going to start with this wooden heart, and we are going to pair it with a beautifully designed napkin. We're going to remove the jute string from it, and then we're going to lightly sand it. Often these wood pieces have like a rough texture to them, so just a light sand would do its work, and then wipe it really well. We're going to paint it white, but you can use any color you want, whatever style you need to complement the napkin you're going to be using. So we are going to give this one just one coat and let that dry. We're going to bring in this beautiful napkin. It is gorgeous. I love that it has that floral design, perfect for spring and summer. We're going to open it up. Now, if you have a multi-ply napkin, just remove all the plies, leaving only the top design on it. Now that the heart is dry, we're just going to lightly sand it again and wipe it really well, removing any dust. We're going to use Mod Podge for this project, so if you have Mod Podge, get that out. You can use any one you will have. I do have a matte, which is my preferred one. I'm going to add it all over the heart, just giving it a nice, kind of like a medium to thick coat, and then we're going to place the napkin right on top. Just find the angle of the napkin that best matches whatever you have and whatever you're going to be covering. So I'm just going to take my time, very carefully pull and flatten as I go. Now, napkins are very thin, so we want to make sure that we're treating it very lightly. Once it was attached, I'm just going to take my braille and I'm just going to start flattening it out as much as I can to remove the bubbles. And then we are going to sand down the edges using the soft grit on my sanding block. You could also use an X-Acto knife, but sanding it downward really helps to remove that excess paper and leaving smooth edges. For the tight corners, I like using my nail filer because it gives it the same effect, but it can get into smaller spaces. These little wood cutouts you can find at Dollar Tree year-round. They have these for Valentine's Day. We are going to take one of them. They come 3 in a pack. Really cute. And we're just going to hot glue it towards the kind of like middle right side of the heart, because we are going to add some florals to the top, so we don't want to hide it. Once it's attached, it's time to add some ribbon. Now, Dollar Tree has out some cute ribbon, beautiful colors for Valentine's Day, and I'm just going to take this felt one. It's kind of like a velvety, I guess. We're just going to cut a piece, and we're going to hot glue it to the back. Now, nothing fancy. It is a light piece, so you don't need to tape it or anything. I'm just going to hot glue it, and that would be sufficient. We're going to flick it back to the front, and we're going to start adding some florals. These are just some greeneries that I have on hand from years and months, and I just pulled them out. These are my spring and summer stash, and I'm just going to start adding some in different directions, but they're all going to originate from the upper left corner of the heart. Now that I have the greenery in place, I'm just going to start adding some of these pink lilies. Again, from last year's stash, I'm going to add a couple of them, and I think they really complements the design of the heart overall. And this is such an easy craft that anyone can do with minimal expense. What do you think of it? Let me know down in the comments. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to start with this foam hearts. You can find these at their Dollar Tree currently for Valentine's Day. I love the size of it, and I love how 3D it is. So I'm just going to take everything off of it, and then I'm going to take a ribbon from Dollar Tree. Now, these are from their Easter selection. They already have them out front, so get on it. Go to Dollar Tree and find these beautiful items. All right, so we're going to cut off a piece. I would say it's probably about 15 inches long, give or take. I'm going to poke a hole with my scissors right at the top of the heart, add some hot glue, and we're just going to thread in, just push in that ribbon right there. We're going to add a little bit more hot glue and then add the other end. We're going to create a hanging heart, so we want to make sure it's nice and secure. You want to do this before you add the napkin, okay? So now for this one, we're going to use this beautiful plaid style napkin. I love the colors. We're going to start with 4 of them. I did add a lot more, but we're going to start with 4, and we're just going to start stacking them one on top of each other. Now, I made the mistake of leaving the plies on it. I would suggest just remove the plies before you cut them, okay? Because I did have to remove a lot of the plies because it was kind of like separating as I was adding them to the heart. and I'll let you know as I go. You'll see. All right, so now that I have them stacked, I'm just going to cut them in little squares or rectangles. It does not have to be perfect, friends. Just do it in whatever size you want. I'm going to take a razor part of the pencil, and I'm just going to start placing them in the center and just scrunching it, just like you see there. Adding hot glue and then adding it with the pencil. I'm going to keep doing this. Now, I started with placing the pencil on the white side of the napkin. I changed my mind later and I started doing it on the design portion because I wanted to be able to see the design more. So just keep that in mind. And again, I just removed any plies that were kind of flaring off as needed. I did this until the entire heart was covered. It takes some time, but it is so worth it. Just put some music on, maybe a movie on the TV, and just keep applying. It's fun. All right, so the heart is covered and we are just going to start trimming whatever you want to trim, okay? You just want to keep that shape of the heart. If you're doing anything else, just do it. It doesn't matter. But I think it turned out so beautiful. It's a little time consuming, very, very much worth it. I love the color scheme. But what do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to start with this Dollar Tree candle. I'm going to take some parchment paper. I'm going to take some napkins that I want to use for this design. And I'm also going to need a heating tool, whether it's like a blower or one of these little mini irons, whatever you have, as long as it creates heat. We're going to attach the napkin onto the candle. You've probably seen something like this on social media or Pinterest. I have never done this, so I was actually a little nervous because I wasn't sure what to expect. So I removed all the plies from the napkin, leaving only the top front design. I cut off a piece of parchment paper and I'm just going to start ironing it to it. Again, I've never done this before, so I'm just kind of going with kind of what I think it's going to work. I start applying it and just melting the napkin onto the candle, and it melts really fast, so keep that in mind. And once you remove the parchment paper, I was kind of blowing a little air on it just to kind of let it cool down and harden. And I kept doing that all around the napkin. Here's what I learned. I just don't leave the iron on too much on it because you can see here, it is dripping down the napkin. All right, so that's the first thing. Secondly, I learned quickly that I wanted to just take a new parchment paper for each section because of the way the style of my candle is. I decided to just grab new parchment paper because the wax does stick to the paper a little bit and you don't want to add the old wax onto the new section. And I hope that all makes sense. So I just kept doing this all the way around the candle. So we're nearing the end of covering the actual candle, and as you can see, I just overlapped the two ends, and that way it's just going to be nice and secure. And I'm just going to cut off any excess paper from the bottom, the side, as well as the top. Now, once you cut them, you're going to see those edges. They're just a little bit not smooth enough. So here I'm just going to take a new parchment paper and I'm just going to start kind of folding and melting that paper onto the candle so we have smooth edges. I did that on the top as well as the bottom. It's not hard. You just want to make sure that those edges are nice and smooth. And that's it. Now, is the candle perfect? Absolutely not. Am I happy with it? Absolutely yes. It's my first time trying it and it won't be my last. I love how fun it was. I love the style. What do you think though? Let me know. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take one of these Dollar Tree Plus wooden signs. This one is gorgeous. I don't remember how much it was because I did remove the price before, like once I got home. It was either $3 or $5, but it's such a good size. Now, this is the napkin I'm going to be using. What a beautiful springtime design. Again, I'm going to remove the back ply and just reveal just one front portion. I am going to paint the board white, but keep in mind you can do whatever color you want. Just depends on what napkin you're using. I'm going to give it one coat of the Waverly chalk pen in the white, And I'm just going to put that to the side and let it dry. Now I'm going to cut off just the design of the bottom napkin. So that way we're just going to be Mod Podging the actual designs. And I'm going to pull off both designs because we're going to put one on the top as well as the bottom of the board. I'm going to lightly sand the surface just to make it nice and smooth once it was dry, and then remove any dust. Now again, we're going to use Mod Podge, so I'm just going to add it liberally to each side and start applying the napkin very carefully, removing as many bubbles as you can, but don't stress about them. And then we're going to add one more coat of the Mod Podge right on top, flattening everything out and sealing it. And we'll do the same thing on the top one. I let that dry for a few minutes under a fan and it is perfectly set. Now I'm going to remove the excess napkin from the corners using my nail filer, and it wasn't too much, but it did smooth out some of those edges. And then I'm going to take my sanding block and I am going to sand down smooth some of the roughness that sometimes it leaves. That way it's going to, two things, smooth it out as well as give it a tiny little bit of distress. These heart-shaped wooden stickers are at Dollar Tree currently in their Valentine's Day section. Love, love, love these. I'm going to create a little, kind of like a banner style. So I'm going to take some jute string. I'm going to attach it to the back using hot glue as well as masking tape, and leaving enough give in the front so it looks like it has like a little loop to it. So just to make sure you do that. Did the same thing on the other side. Now the little hearts, I have red ones, pink, and wooden tone ones. Because the design of the napkins didn't have any red, I'm not going to use the red hearts, but I am going to use the pink ones and the wood tones, and it really complements the sign very nicely. I did have to switch in sizes here and there until I decided what kind of looked right. You can see that I added a larger one to the other side. I didn't like the way that looked, so I just removed it and replace it with a smaller wood tone one, and I think this is gorgeous. If you have a Cricut, you can create a graphic and add it to there, maybe something that says springtime, whatever you want. What do you think of this one? Next time you're at Dollar Tree, head on over to their sticker aisle. They have tons of selections, different styles, different colors, and for every holiday. I have a ton already at home, so we're going to start using some of these with one of these circles that I found at the Dollar Tree several months back. I already used one of them, but I'm going to remove one more, and we are going to then take everything from it, including the staples. We're just going to sand it down just a little bit, the edges, and roughen up the front to make sure it'll adhere to the vinyl. We're going to wipe it well, and then we're going to use some of Dollar Tree vinyls you can find year-round in different colors and even textures. We're going to take a pink one that I have at home, and I'm going to cover it up. Now you can paint it also, or you can paint it with one coat and then cover it with vinyl. This pink vinyl is pretty light, so you can see the design underneath. So I did have to put 3 layers of vinyl. Very simple, just remove the back, place it on top, remove any bubbles, and then sand down the edges. You can also cut it with an X-Acto knife, but I have found that sanding it in a downward motion really removes that vinyl and it smooths down the edges. So I'm just going to add the third one and do the same thing. These beautiful stickers have a rounded look to them. I love using these. They have a very feminine, kind of chic style. And I'm just going to pick one that I think will look really well. And it already has a little sticky pad to the back. You can always add a little bit of hot glue, which I will in next projects. But for this one, it'll stick just perfectly to the vinyl. We're going to place the remaining stickers right onto the little packaging again. And now we're going to bring in this yarn. I found this recently at Walmart. This huge roll was under $9. I thought it was a great deal. I'm going to roll it around one of these scrapers because we're going to create a little tassel. Then I'm going to take another piece of the yarn, thread it through underneath, kind of like in between the yarn, and then we're just going to tie it in the knot. Once you have it tied in a knot, then we're going to take another piece of yarn, and we're going to tie it, leaving it about maybe an inch from the top. And that way we're going to create a nice shape of a tassel. Then we're going to open up all the little circles, just the little ones on the bottom, and then cut everything so that each of them have the same length. That's it. Now we're going to take that remaining yarn from the top and we're going to thread it through a wood bead. I have these at home, but you can find them at Dollar Tree as well as Amazon and Walmart. I push the bead all the way to the top of the tassel, and then we are going to place it on the back of the wood round. We're going to hot glue it in place, but I decided to add more tape. This is just by preference. I think the hot glue would have been sufficient, but just to make sure, I did add some tape. Now we're going to thread more beads to the top portion, but you see these here. Now this came from the original piece that I used. I'm just going to remove those because they have different shapes. And I'm going to add one more larger bead, and I thought it was so cute. I'm going to start with the largest one, thread the yarn through, and then move on to the medium size and then the two small ones. This is going to create that nice cone look. I don't want it to be too tight, so I'm just going to wiggle it around until I see what I want, and then we're just going to tie it in the knot on the top, and that's it. Such an easy craft. This would be great hanging on a door handle or even just placing it on a console table. What do you think of this one? Let me know. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to start with this beautiful pink jar. Now, if you don't have a pink jar, you can use any one you find at Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use a piece of dowel that I already had at home. This foam is from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start cutting it in a round shape, wide enough so that it fits to the top of the jar, but not too small where it's going to fall through. Once I had the shape, I am going to poke the dowel right through the foam and then place it inside the jar, and then just kind of tightening down and really wedging that foam inside. I secured everything with hot glue, that way it's not going to move on me. Now I'm going to take a foam ball. You can find these at Dollar Tree. They come 2 in a pack. I'm going to poke it right onto the opposite side of the dowel. Once I had it where I poked it, then I'm going to remove it and I'm going to add hot glue and place it right back on. Again, this is just going to allow it to really stick together. I'm going to take some reindeer moss from Dollar Tree, and we're going to cover the entire ball by simply adding hot glue and then adding the moss. Just take your time, be careful not to get burned, and then just cover the entire thing. Once you have it covered, just pack it in nice and sweet, and then we're going to find some florals. Now these I had at home. These are from previous seasons from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut them and I'm going to start placing them. At first, I thought I would add different types of flowers, so I'm going to show you the entire process, but I actually ended up removing these. But again, I just want to show you. So these are the ones I'm actually going to stick with, but these are a beautiful curl tone. They really pull with that pink jar. I think it's gorgeous. I'm just going to cut them and just start placing them inside the foam. This is when I decided to just remove them. I grabbed another pick with the same flower tones, and I'm just going to start again, continuing to add them here and there. I'm not worried about it being completely covered because I do like the way that moss kind of looks. I'm going to take some jute string and I'm just going to wrap it around 4 of my fingers. I'm going to tie it in the center with another piece of jute string, and then we're going to create a very country kind of style bow, fluff it up a little bit, and just tie it around the neck of the bottom of the dowel. This beautiful sticker set is from Dollar Tree. I already had it on hand. I'm going to use this one right here. I think it's gorgeous. It has the pink undertones that really pull from the entire design, and it has 2 stickies in the back, and we're just going to place it right in the front. I'm going to add some greenery leaves. These are just from the picks that I had on hand. I'm just hot gluing them to where the bow ends, and that way it's just going to cover up any glue and the foam from the jar. Look how gorgeous this is. It's one of my favorites, but let me know what you think. For this next Dollar Tree sticker DIY craft, I'm going to take this beautiful craft paper. Now, this came out of a book that I got. I believe it was Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And I'm just going to fold it that way. So we're going to turn it around into like a diamond shape. And we're going to fold the bottom corner all the way to where it goes about 2 inches past the midsection. I'm going to use my scraper to really fold it very tightly. And then I am going to take the sides and I am going to fold it inwards, making sure the bottom aligns and making sure that the corner goes just past that middle section. Same thing with the other side. We're going to create an envelope. Fold it, make sure it aligns, and that it goes past the middle section, just like that. We're going to do the same thing to the top. We're going to bring it down, we're going to fold it, and then use a scraper to really make sure those creases are nicely folded. Open everything up, and now we're going to cut those middle sections where both folds met. We're going to cut that off because we want those corners not to be so bulky. So I'm going to do the same thing on all 4 sides. And now that they're cut, it's going to fold very nicely and it's not going to be so bulky on the sides. Now we want to trim some of these edges here. So these are just the 2 sides. We're going to trim some of the top. We're going to go from the corner to where it meets the top portion of the envelope, and we're going to cut that off. Again, we're just cleaning off edges and sides. That way it's going to fold nice and pretty. I did the same thing on the other side, and now when you fold it, it's just going to look nice and clean and very neat. Now we want to remove that middle portion. So once I have it folded, I'm just going to mark with my pencil, and we're going to remove that portion again just to clean it off. You can use an X-Acto knife, but scissors work really well. Now that it's folded, it's looking so nice. All right, so now we're going to take some double-sided tape. I get this at on Amazon, but you can find at Dollar Tree as well. I'm just going to fold it onto itself, and the 2-sided tape, it's going to hold it in place. So just add tape wherever you need it, making sure that it's not going to glue to the inside of the envelope, just the outside, just like that. Once again, we're going to clean off some of these edges, just make them nice and neat. And we're going to remove some of the sides of this, and we're just going to cut it again with the scissors. Now it's time to add something on the inside. Now I wanted to add maybe like a letter or something to it, but I decided to just go ahead and grab one of these doilies. Recently I did a Christmas video and it had doilies and I had some left over. I'm going to cut one of the smaller ones in half and then cut off one of the sides to make it nice and flat so it fits inside. This is just so that we can add something on the inside, but by all means you can add a letter, you can add anything you want to the inside. You can even add florals, which I think would be gorgeous. I'm going to use the same double-sided tape just to secure the doilies in place. And it looks so chic. I love it. All right, so now we're going to bring in this beautiful sticker set from Dollar Tree. It has just so many designs. This would be great for scrapbooking or even card making. So I'm going to take the one that says heart and I'm going to place it right there in the center of the envelope, looking gorgeous. Holy moly. All right, so now we're going to poke a hole to the top with my hole puncher, and we're going to take some of this lacy ribbon from Dollar Tree. We are going to make a very simple bow. Again, we're going to keep it pretty simple. Once I have it in the shape and size that I want, I'm just going to cut off the ends, and then we're going to thread more ribbon right through the hole, make a very simple knot in the top, and then we're going to hot glue the bow right underneath the little hole. That way it'll be nice and simple and so sweet and beautiful. This is one of my favorites. I love the craft paper, and that heart sticker is stunning. It has a metallic golden look. Love, love, love. What do you think of this one? For the next Dollar Tree sticker DIY craft, I'm going to take another craft paper from another book. We're going to start cutting it. Okay, so I want to cut them in 2.5 inches wide. Now the first one, I don't know why I cut it into 3 inches. So just cut it in 2.5. It makes for a much better size bookmark, but you can do it whatever you want. We're going to make some bookmarks. I love making bookmarks because they're easy, versatile, and they're great for gift giving and actually as party favors. So once I cut them all into 2.5 inches wide, I did cut them into 8 inches long, and then I marked where I wanted to cut on the edges at the top just to angle them. For the first bookmark, I'm going to take these flower stickers. They are gorgeous. They'll be great for spring and summer, and I'm just going to start placing different colors, different sizes in different places. Now, if they overlap the edges, you can either leave like that, but I decided to cut them and clean it off really well. I'm going to take this beautiful jute string. It's like a baker's twine, actually. I'm just going to tie it again around my fingers, and then we're going to make a very simple bow, fluff it up, and then we are going to place more string right through the hole that we punched in the top and hot glue the little bow right in front. So cute. All right, for the next one, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to use the dark side. These stickers are gorgeous. I've used it in the past. They have this beautiful flower arrangement one. We're going to place it right towards the bottom left corner of the bookmark. Now I had a butterfly left over. It had a metallic finish. I tilted it to the top, and isn't that gorgeous? Oh my. All right, I'm going to take some of this white jute string from Amazon. I'm going to make another very simple bow, wrap it around, scrunch it in the middle, tie it with more jute string, and then we are going to thread more string through the hole, tie it in the knot, and then hot glue the bow right underneath. So simple, so easy, and so beautiful. For the third bookmark, we're going to make a fun one. We're going to take this beautiful sticker set. We are going to place the little banner. We're going to cut it in half, and we're going to tilt them one to each side, and it's going to look so cute. Then we're going to take the Be Happy sticker, place it in the middle, and then some flower ones to the bottom. For this one, we're going to take some black jute string. We're going to do the same thing, my friends. We're just going to roll it around, tie it in the center with some jute string, cut off any excess. Again, punch a hole to the top, thread more jute string through it, make a knot, and then hot glue the bow. We're going to keep them pretty simple, but also similar to each other. I mentioned earlier this would make a great party favor. I think it would make a fantastic party favor. You can personalize them in the back. How fun. For the last one, this one is perfect for those guys in your lives. We are going to just make it very simple on the dark side again. This beautiful sticker has a farmhouse look. That's all we're going to put on it. We're going to take some black jute string, some white jute string, as well as some natural tone jute string. And we are going to thread it through the hole. We're not even going to make a bow, friends. We're just going to tie it in the knot, keep it simple and very kind of like manly, you know? And then we're just going to, again, cut off any excess from the jute string, and that's it. These bookmarks are gorgeous. You can gift them as a set, or you can gift them individually, or keep them for yourself, whatever you want. Definitely one of my favorites, but what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. In the kitchen aisle, Dollar Tree has these glass cutting boards or trivets that are great for your kitchen, but so fun for crafting. We're going to start with this round one. I'm going to remove the plastic from it. Now, they all have these little plastic or like rubber pads on the back. I'm going to remove them on this one temporarily because I want to craft on the smooth side. So these trivets have a textured side and a smooth side. So I want to use the smooth side. But first, we got to remove the little sticky residue that the little pads left behind. And I'm just going to use some Goo Gone from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to wipe it really well, making sure there's no oily residue left over. I'm going to add a Mod Podge to the smooth side again, and I'm just going to spread it nice and evenly, maybe about a medium amount. Just make sure that you set it to the side, let it fully dry. Dollar Tree calendars are great for crafting, and I'm going to use this Valentine's Day themed one with a farmhouse truck. And I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut up the farmhouse truck as well as the LOVE from the top. You can use scissors, but I have found that using the X-Acto knife makes it nice, smooth, very clean cuts. But be very careful, of course, and just take your time. Once I had them completely cut, the Mod Podge had dried, and I'm just going to place the farmhouse truck towards the bottom. And then I'm going to place the letters on top, keeping that nice curved look from the trivet. And then I'm going to place some parchment paper on top and iron them on. I learned this technique very recently, I suppose, and I have used it several times, and I love this technique. It's so easy to use. I'm going to use my mini heat press, but you can use your iron if you have that as well. I'm going to iron it very quickly and then remove the parchment paper, and everything's so nicely attached. I am going to just use my sanding block to sand downwards to remove the excess paper. And then in the crafting aisle, you can find a sticker section that has tons of stickers for every season and holiday. And these little wooden hearts are available, and I love that they have the 3 different tones. I'm going to add some of these to the top just to kind of add a 3D format to the truck. This added so much texture, and I just love that 3D look. All right, so I do want this trivet to be able to stand, so I'm going to build a cute little stand for it. But just in case I want to use it on a surface, I'm going to place those little pads right back on it. In the crafting aisle, there's also a wooden blank section, and I found these wood planks that come 6 in a pack for $1.25, which I think it's a great deal. I'm going to use one of them. It is a little rough and has a lot of splinters, so I'm just going to lightly sand it, remove all those imperfections, and then wipe it really well because I do want to build, like I said, a nice stand for my trivet. I'm going to use some of these wooden tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 6 of them to be exact. And then I am going to hot glue them to the board. I'm going to do 3 in the front. And then I'm going to take another one of these trivets. They're all the same thickness. I'm going to use this one as a guide so that I can place the back block. And that way I have enough space in the middle so that I can stand the trivets. I'm going to add the other 2, and then I'm just going to paint the entire thing white, although you can do whatever color you want. I decided on white because most of my surfaces are white, so that way it blends in well, but you can also stain it if you'd like. I absolutely love the way this turned out. The colors, the texture, and the 3D hearts. Love, love, love it. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to take a square glass trivet and we are going to remove everything from it, again, including the little rubber pads. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the Goo Gone and we are going to remove any sticky residue that was left behind. You just got to rub it a few times and then wipe it, making sure that the oily residue is gone. Same thing as earlier, we're going to add Mod Podge to the surface, spread it out nice and evenly, and we're going to set it to the side to dry. I usually put it underneath a fan that is on my floor and it works so good. While that's dry, I am going to take another calendar. This one has a beautiful spring design. And I'm going to place the now dry trivet right on top. And using my X-Acto knife, I'm just going to cut off the excess from the sides. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing we did earlier. We're just going to use the ironing method. And we are going to place the design on top of it. Then parchment paper, and then we're going to iron it in place. Now that it's nicely attached, we are going to use the sanding block once again, and we're just going to sand down those edges very carefully to remove the excess paper. This allows it to be nice and flush to the edge, and it's not going to scratch it up because it's a nice soft grit. I'm going to place those rubber pads right back on it just in case I want to place it on a surface. But if you don't, that's okay. This one I'm going to actually keep on a pad just like I built for the other one. So I'm just going to add a little hot glue. Although they have the little sticky portion of it, it just hot glue and reinforces it. How cute. You can leave it just like this. But I wanted to add something on the edges. So I'm going to use some of this golden rub and buff that I got on Amazon. And I do have it on my Amazon store. And with a little tiny rag, I'm just going to add to the surface, making sure that it kind of overlaps to the front just a little bit. It just adds a nice subtle frame to the design. And I think it's gorgeous, to be honest with you. And again, you can leave it just like this. Or I'm going to make a little bit of a 3D. And I'm just going to use some of these stickers from Dollar Tree. They have a butterfly theme. And they have a golden design to it, which complements the entire design. I'm going to add 3 of them just here and there. You can skip this part. Of course you can. But I do want it to have that 3D look, and I love the way it looks. I placed it on the same surface that I built earlier, and I think it's gorgeous. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to take another one of the round ones, remove the plastic portion of it, and this one we're not going to remove the pads from the back. We're going to wipe the top surface really well because we're going to use the textured portion of this one. We're going to take vinyl from Dollar Tree. It does not matter what color it is. We're going to cut little squares from it, and then we're going to use my flower shaped puncher. I get this in a pack of 6 with different shapes on Amazon, and yes, I do have it on my Amazon store. And I decided to use the flower shape one. I am going to cut out 1 flower in each square, but we're actually going to use the square, not the cutout. And then once I have enough, or I thought I had enough, I had to cut a couple extra ones, but that's okay. I'm going to place them and then again on the textured portion of the trivet. And we're just going to spread them out nice and evenly. And I'm just making sure that they're nicely stuck on there. This is why you want to make sure that surface is nice and clean so that that sticky part of the vinyl sticks really well. Then we're going to use the same rub and buff that we used earlier, and with a small little rag, we're going to fill in inside of each flower, and that way we're going to have a nice design with the golden flowers on it. I made sure that I completely removed any excess rub and buff, and then remove the vinyl from it. Look how cute they look. Just like I did earlier, I am going to create a nice frame around this one with the rub and buff as well. And I'm just going to take a little bit more and just rub it on the edges, making sure that it overlaps on the edge just a little bit. I think it makes a huge difference. Of course, you can skip this part. You can also use paint if you don't have rub and buff. You can use anything you have, but I think it turned out great with it. Once dry, I'm going to take it out into my garage and I'm just going to spray it with this top coat. It's nice and glossy. It's going to complement the design and seal everything in. Once it was dry, I think it's gorgeous. You can use this to place jewelry on. You can put a candle in an arrangement. I love the way it turned out. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I have another video here for you with tons more of Dollar Tree DIY crafts inspiration. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.